been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. I hate April Fool's Day. I cannot stand it. It is one of my least favorite days of the year because somebody will say something about, that was funny, but I was kidding. Like, shut up. Yeah, today's one of those days you ever wake up and you're just like, yeah, I'm just not here for it today. See you tomorrow. That's what April Fool's Day is for me every year because I don't have a sense of humor. On the Monty Show, as always, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. Yeah, that's right. Any time of day or night, The Advocates are ready to serve you. All you have to do is get to theadvocates.com. You could chat with an injury attorney live online, not a chatbot, not AI, a real live injury attorney, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And the best part is you get clear, risk-free advice. That means you never pay a penny out of your pocket because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So if you've been in a car accident, you've been in an accident with a big rig, which we know how that goes. In the great state of Utah and the Mountain West, the rain and snow that you are going to get this week, please be careful. And just remember, if the worst happens, get the best at theadvocates.com. A lot to get to today. I still want to understand, and maybe I don't understand. I get it. What I do know, thanks to the one day a year where I get into my Twitter notifications yesterday, that Utah State Aggie fan who's really invisible because, well, nobody cares. But Utah State fan, Utah fan, every fan that hates BYU, and there's a lot of those, thinks that AJ Dybantsa was a financial disaster for BYU. This obsession with AJ Dybantsa, I will never understand it. I didn't understand it from the get. The idea that somehow BYU was doing something wrong or that, there's a BYU bag man. What is, Jake, what do you think the obsession with AJ Dybantsa is?
That they have AJ Dybantsa and you don't. That's the obsession. They were able to get the best player in that recruiting class, and Utah State wasn't, and Utah wasn't. And, so naturally what they're going to do is they're going to say outlandish things. And excuse me, the argument is that, well, Monty, look, the graphic says 4.4 million, but you can't honestly believe that's all that AJ made. He made $7 million in all of his ventures. And the problem I have with it is like, what's the big deal, dude? Cool. He got 4.5 in NIL. And then Buddy was able to go out and make a couple more just through endorsements and different things that he was doing. Like, what's the big deal? Like, why are we so interested in hating on dude? Oh, that's right. You are hating on him because he didn't want to play for Aggie Tears and he didn't want to play for the Utes. He wanted to play for BYU. And he goes out and does that. And, oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention, they went to the tournament and Utah didn't. And we're looking at Utah State and we're like, yeah, I get it. Like, you guys don't win as much as you'd like to. You've had scandal over the last 18 months. Like, I get it, dude. I understand. But that's why people hate, because he didn't want to play for you. And I would imagine that that's frustrating.
I don't I think it is jealousy. I think it is you're hoping that he fails because he didn't go to your university. I think it's as simple as that, because who cares what he makes? Who cares what he makes? The richest one obviously is going to be Utah State fan who quite literally is invisible. Nobody cares. Nobody follows you. Nobody, like, in the state of Utah, Utah State athletics is invisible. Fine university, really good ag program, like, great. As an athletic department, nobody cares. You are completely invisible. And I think I understand that radassery that comes from Logan because of how invisible Utah State is. They're best known in the rivalry with BYU for injuring BYU players. That's their, like, claim to fame. Okay, if that's what you're hanging your hat on, congratulations, you're Baylor, right? Although Baylor is, like, we can actually see them and pay attention to them. Utah fan, you just have zero room to talk about anything related to college basketball because you should be humiliated, embarrassed. Like, what's gone on at Utah in the last 12 months with athletics, specifically football and basketball, is humiliating. Like, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it gets, any worse if you're really in athletics overall. I mean, if you look at football, you look at basketball, like, it's just not like BYU is currently at this time, leading the way with those sports. So I just think that the problem is when little brother sees an opportunity to hate on big brother, little brother's going to do that every single time, which is exactly what Utah State fan does. And I think it's interesting if you look at it nationally, like, the gripe, if you guys remember, was, oh, well, BYU was one and done or whatever in the tournament, and they wasted all their money. And, how is this good for college athletics? And, where's all this money come from? And, all the crumble cookie jokes and the Ryan Smith jokes. And so everyone's got an angle on how BYU, quote unquote, wasted their money. But all I have to say is you can call it wasting their money. I'm calling it, hey, they got to the tournament and, basically with one player and a bunch of injuries, we're able to have a reasonable season, and a rookie head coach. So I actually don't feel like they wasted their money. Sure, would they have liked to have gone further? Of course, anybody would. But to say that they wasted their money, I think is pretty, it's pretty harsh.
It's ridiculous. It is. And that's what it's the hating, the lack of, like, I just don't understand why you care. Like, you've put so much energy into this kid, and all he did, admittedly, he had that down swoon, but all he did was pretty much perform and is easily a top 2 player in college basketball, all of college basketball. Not the Big 12, not all of college basketball.
Which probably adds to it,
historically good season for BYU basketball on an individual basis. Did they win the tournament? No. Was that his fault? No. Like, I'm just amazed by it. The hate never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also adds to it. You're right. I mean, the fact that most people agree that, he's the top pick in the draft now. Most people agree that don't want to Platerson is falling to maybe the 4th or 5th pick in the draft now, on a lot of people's mock draft boards and all of that. Like, so it's like, all right, not only did they get to the tournament, not only did he make good money, not only is he the top pick, not only is he the best player in the state, like, it's all of these people, just finding ways to basically acknowledge bro's greatness, right? I mean, because that's what this is. Like, you're basically just pointing out that, oh, well, you didn't want to go to Utah State. You wanted to go to BYU, and you're terrible, and you suck, and BYU's terrible, and they suck. And, like, so all you're doing is just reaffirming that, bro had a great season and is going to the league, and, whether his mom likes it or not, is going to get paid all that money and hopefully have a good career. I mean, that's all you're doing. So, I mean, I also think that BYU, just generally speaking, garners hate just because they're BYU. I mean, we've seen this countless times with, Oregon fan, or, we've seen, tons of different fan bases, saying things like, F the Mormons, and we've had those conversations. So it's not, to say that I'm surprised would be strong, But I would agree that the obsession on Dybantsa has been a little ridiculous.
Well, and I think that the one that I love the most is, they paid him all that money and crashed out. What does the money they paid AJ Dybantsa have to do with how many games they won in the tournament? There is no correlation of any kind. And especially when you look at all of the non-basketball money they made off of him, like when you look at his jersey sales, his publicity, just the fact that he's able to bring in a higher cut of recruit now. And he hasn't even been picked number 1 in the NBA draft yet. How much red assery is going to happen from Utah Ute fan when the number 1 pick in the NBA draft is AJ Dybantsa? Because I have to believe, I still maintain that the lottery is fixed and the Jazz are going to get AJ Dybantsa. I think the lottery's fixed. I as much as I hate conspiracy theories, but it's very funny to me that Utah Ute fan just can't process the fact that the $4.4 million they paid him and however much more money he made, which good on him. Why do you, and this is the other part, what would you have done different if you're AJ Dybantsa and BYU? They had to have made 3, 4, 5 to 1 on him minimum.
Yeah, was the alternative
Minimum.
just don't pay him, don't bring him in, don't try to win games like you guys do, or
But it's a financial windfall for BYU. Financial windfall. Just on t-shirt sales, they made more money than they paid him. Never mind season tickets, never mind Marriott Center parking fees, never mind concessions, like all of it.
Pay that man his money.
All of it. Never mind the fact that he was a large part of the reason that you made it to the tournament. Because if he's not there, you're not even a postseason team.
right?
Never mind the fact that he raised your brand because he dominated and was the talk of college basketball, especially after Don't Want to Playderson decided not to play games.
Facts.
Like the guy was an all-around win, and Utah fan is like, they paid him $25 trillion and, and then they didn't win a game. What a jerk. Like, come on, dude. Be better. Be better. Knows we out of the it's going to be this kind of day in the comment section. Great. What's up, Nightmare? Good to see you. Maury Alvarez, hello. The Morty and Jack Show, good morning. Hello.
Right.
Frog Father, good to see you. Tom Dean, yes, please, everybody hit the like button. And speaking of the like button, we took strays yesterday from YouTube over what we said. So,
but we are still alive and here. So
True.
That's the positive, that's the silver lining, if you will. We are still here. So that's,
truth.
Yeah.
Barely. All I can say is if the Jazz want a shot, AJ, they need to lose every game for the rest of the way. It's been, looks like the show actually didn't survive the last topic yesterday. You can always tell and this is why we don't talk politics on the show, because it just, all of a sudden we go from thousands and thousands of views per video to 200, 300, 500. Do the math, right? Doug, the resident Utah fan. Hello. Other Utah fans being jealous because they didn't get near the public publicity nor the run BYU did. I would agree with that. 100%. Hey, why don't you go cry over spilled milk for me? Ooh,
Get a
Maury.
Come on, man.
Oh, by the way, there you go. There you go. So Mike's going to be on one of those today. Hey, they are the linchpin of the Pac-12. There you go, Muldoon. Good old. I saw that argument yesterday. The old Pac-12. There is no old Pac-12. It's dead.
I just think it's funny that it's so predictable. Bro who hates on BYU, who is a fan of a Pac-12 school, is automatically going to say the new Pac-12 is a power conference. BYU sucks. Utah sucks, and we're the best. That's like the old reliable, can count on it every time take.
Right here. If I was a BYU fan, I'd be pissed they didn't make it at least to the Elite Eight with how much AJ costs.
Okay, so now we're saying it's AJ's fault that you didn't get to the Elite Eight, even with all of the quality, because we're going to talk about these other teams here in a little while. All of the quality you saw through the Sweet 16, all of the quality that you saw through the Elite Eight, you're still saying that it's AJ's fault they didn't get further. That's crazy.
You're going to need to explain that comment.
Yeah.
What do you mean AJ costs? That does not. Do you realize? And this is what I don't think people understand. Did you think about that comment before you wrote it? He costs them nothing. He's not an expense. He's not a liability. He's an asset. He's income. At $10 million, they could have paid him. He'd be income. He's not a liability. He's an asset. And yet, you get Ute fans saying, oh, I'd be so pissed. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, you're about to find out how pissed you should be after this football season, dude. So
I mean, it is ridiculous. One time I said, F the Mormons, but a young, cute. Okay. Okay. Guys. Boyd Lake. We'll be back on the court next year. Are you sure? Are you sure? You know, I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't know why basic Ute fan can't understand that Utah puts more money into their football program than basketball. But that's not even the issue. The issue is you haven't, you have been non-competitive for how many years in college basketball?
A decade.
It's not like Mark Harlan has never had an NCAA tournament team on the men's side while at Utah. At least accidentally go to the tournament one year. Just accidentally make it. But they're not even doing that. You're fourth or fifth in the state in men's programs. Let that sink in. It's not that you're the second best basketball program in the state. Dude, come on. It was fantastic for BYU that AJ and his family came to Provo, no doubt. But they went to Utah Prep. They went to BYU. I'm telling you, he's going to end up with the Jazz. It would be shocking if he was not drafted number one. At this point,
I'm curious what they'll do to get him. I don't know who you'd pick instead, and I'm curious what the Jazz will do to go get him.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I remember all the Ute and Pac fans telling the Big 12 not to take BYU because they are divas and would not do this, and that Sunday would bite us in the butt. And yeah, BYU's a terrible partner, and they're weirdos. And who's been a better partner for the Big 12, Utah or BYU?
That's not a topic Utah fan would like to discuss.
Who's got a better football program right now? Who's got a better all-around athletic department right now? Who's got a better athletic director right now? Who's making more money right?
Yeah.
But whatever. I think it's very interesting. I don't understand the obsession. With
I think there was
AJ and his money. I
him
don't
being
get
a
it.
national name was part of it too. I think, it would have been different. I think if AJ was one of these born and raised Utah kids and grew up here and there was that natural flow to BYU. I think everyone likes to, because I see the hating of other programs too who spend a lot of money in basketball. Kansas with Don't Want to Playderson. People hate on Kansas and they say that, they wasted their money and yada, yada. Like Duke, look at Duke. Duke's a perfect example. Bro, Duke goes out on the UConn buzzer beater and everyone's like, oh, well, man, Shire, hasn't done anything as Duke's head coach. And, he's done the same amount as Hubert Davis did, yet he still has his job. And, like it's just all these different things. And that's what's tough is that I feel like in the NIL era, unless you win a national championship and you're given sport, it's like you wasted your money versus people being like, hey, that's actually what's required for you to actually like get to the tournament or get to the CFP or whatever it might be to even have an opportunity to compete. And that's the problem I think that we're running into.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I'll be interested to see what happens in the state of Utah. I'll be interested to see how does because I don't think there's any question. What's the right way to say this? I don't think there's any question. Utah is massively underperforming athletically. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. And I think when you look at and it depends on who you believe. Just talking to people at BYU, they have a massive NIL budget for basketball. Like it is, and I'm not trying to put people's business in the street, but I mean, it's north of $20 million. Like they have, and again, I understand that Utah fan and anybody not a BYU fan in the Big 12 doesn't want to talk about it, but they paid a bunch of dudes money who did not play because of injury. That's what BYU has to fix. AJ Dybantsa's money, the obsession with AJ and his money is comical to me. Because if you had access to a player like AJ Dybantsa, $4 million, essentially, let's even call it 4.4, because I'm told it was 4.2, as I've talked about endlessly on this show. Even at $4.4 million, he's not taking up 30% of your NIL budget.
Yeah, and I think to your point, him being a net positive is really the nail in the coffin, right? I mean, yeah, sure, you paid him that money, but all the money he generated for you far outweighs the cost of paying him. That's the one where I'm like, hey, hater guy, like, do you really think that was just a loss for them, that they made no money on him being in that uniform and all the interviews and all the stuff that he did for you and I am sure, bro made appearances at other sporting events for BYU. And there's just a million different ways to monetize the kid, and they know how to do that. So I think that it would be nice if next season BYU, was able to go further in the tournament. I would agree with that. But I just can't get down with, hey, they wasted their money. It was a terrible season and BYU sucks. Because that to me is the haterade, if you will, the hater juice that these guys are all living on.
Yeah, I think it is. It's time to win. Make no mistake about that. This is the Texas Tech conversation. Hey, great, you were dominant, but BYU, their total, look at, the argument isn't AJ Dybantsa, and this is what Utah fan and others can't grasp. The argument is not AJ Dybantsa. The argument is, A, Kevin Young, because you got to remember how much money you're paying Kevin Young.
Right.
B, the rest of that roster that just didn't develop, and it essentially was Richie Saunders and AJ Dybantsa and everybody else. And then when Richie went down, nobody else could step up. Rob Wright could only do so much because he's a limited player. But it's the total NIL budget you're spending, and it didn't equate to wins. And it didn't equate to a conference championship. Okay, year one, you're probably not getting that anyway. Next year, the expectation has to go up.
Yeah.
The wins have to go up. Kevin Young has to be a significantly better coach than he was. That's the conversation around BYU basketball. Not, oh, AJ, what a waste of money. Shut up. Like you're lost.
Agreed.
Yeah. And this is my point. BYU across the board is simply the best athletic department in the Big 12, in my opinion. And I think it might be top 5 in the country. And the emphasis that BYU puts on women's sports is pretty significant. So, how much of the NIL bucket did AJ take up? Well, if you go with, let's be conservative. Let's say that they spent $15 million in NIL basketball, because you're never going to know the total that they spent. Let's say it's $15 million. So he takes up less than a third of it. You can't buy health. The issue is not AJ Dybantsa. It's the rest of the roster. Kevin Young was not a good coach this year. He just was not ready. He did not do a good job.
Yeah, I think he's the prime example of bro who came from the NBA trying to acclimate to the college game and realizing there was a lot more to it than just, hey, we're stepping down in talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Not gonna lie. Is that what NGL means?
Yeah, not gonna lie.
I haven't watched college basketball since the last time Utah made it to the tournament. So before you were born. I'm only making observations on NAL contracts versus outcomes. Well, and you're talking in narratives. That's what you're really doing. No, you are talking out of your ass. And this is the problem with the X machine. It becomes an echo chamber. This is why it's literally maybe 3 or 4 days a year, if that I'll get into my DMs. I got into my DMs last night because somebody sent me a DM on TikTok and said, hey, I've been trying to reach you on Twitter. It's like, well, I don't read my DMs or my notifications on Twitter almost ever, because it's an echo chamber full of, like, I can't tell you how many notifications, and I only read it for like 5 minutes last night. How many notifications? Stick to sports. Well, I'll get right on that. I cannot tell you. There must have been 25 or 30. Stick to sports. Shut up. No, I don't like.
What are we supposed to do with that, dude? Like, what am I supposed to do with bro who's like, hey, sports and life occurrences don't go hand in hand? What do you mean, dude? Like, sports and life is the essence of our existence, dude. Like, they're hand in hand.
Yes.
The narratives, the messaging, it's all in the same melting pot. The only reason we don't do more of it is because YouTube as a platform is just so damn like hardcore about it. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, they restrict all of your content when you talk about what's his name occasionally.
Yeah. Anybody doing anything in that sphere of influence will get you limited on the YouTube machine. So
not doing it. And it's incredible to me. Anyway, politics, pop culture, and sports run right next to each other. Kim Kardashian's dating life is as interesting to you as AJ Dybantsa's NIL money.
Yes.
That's the reality of it. You
Who's
want
the
to
next
talk
athlete
about
that she's partnering up with. Like that to me is the perfect parallel, right? I mean, it couldn't be, there couldn't be more synergy, dude. And that's why I say, like, I just think that it's, I think the whole stick to sports narrative, or like, any of the other spin on it that you've heard over the years is just somebody saying, I don't want to have a conversation with you about X topic because I'm not educated on it. So I'm going to just try to beat you over the head with stick to the thing that I know or claim to know anything about.
Correct. Who do you guys have winning the NCAA tournament? Real quick, did you guys see the odds that came out? I mean, the money is coming in on UConn. And not to divert totally from this, how is Hurley still able to coach in the Final Four? Did you guys see the headbutt nonsense At this point, you must have. You must have. How is he able to coach? I will never. This is one of the that Dan Hurley is not suspended is remarkable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they hit that game-winning shot, and I should have gotten the picture of it, but they hit that game-winning shot. He headbutted an official. Full-on headbutted an official. And did not get punished for it. Didn't get suspended, didn't get fined. How on earth is this? How on earth is he allowed to coach? Am I making too much of this?
Well, I think that it's I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that the official didn't give him the technical in the moment, right? So like it's I agree. Just if we're just talking about rules, obviously contact with an official, is totally outside of the lines. I agree with that completely. Always has been, always will be. However, Mullins hits the shot. Everyone's going crazy, and I don't particularly know what Dan was doing there, or what he, what he thought was going on. But there were multiple opportunities for the officials to give UConn technicals. One for Bros being out on the floor after he hit that shot. One, and this is what Duke fan was pissed about. Because Duke fans been saying since the shot went in, hey, well, we should have had technical free throws because UConn's bench was all over the floor. Then the headbutt thing comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, like, how was he not given a technical? How was he not suspended? And
I agree.
It's like, well, the official didn't blow the whistle. They didn't call technical in the moment. I don't think that it's. I guess I just feel like it's not reasonable to suspend him after the fact. That to me is did you tee him up then or not type situation. I mean, you're not gonna take him off the floor for the Final Four.
I disagree. He either did it or he didn't, and I don't know why the official didn't give him a technical foul in the. I mean, he's making contact. He headbutted the guy. How is he able to coach the next game? It is, and this is, if you've watched this show for any amount of time, I think he's a scumbag. I think Dan Hurley is the worst of the worst human being. He's Jim Harbaugh as a basketball coach. Like taunting fans, taunting other players, yelling and screaming at people. Like he's just complete scumbaggery. Now headbutting an official. How does he get away with that? That's what I'll never understand. Like, how does he get away with that? And he's like, oh, I thought the guy wanted to chest bump me. Then why are you headbutting him? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yet people will make the excuse, oh, he's just intense, Monty. It's not intensity. It's not intense. This is not intensity. This is him headbutting an official.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, rules are rules. Like, I don't really care if he's intense or not, or like if I think that I guess what's hard is that you have this dynamic, like obviously this dynamic at play where it's like, hey, if you're gonna suspend him after the fact, obviously you're definitely gonna define the narrative of that game then at that point, and of their next game. So. We've seen the NCAA has just been really bad at handling all of this. And I don't know. Like, I was genuinely surprised the official didn't give him a technical for making contact. I mean, we've seen officials give technicals for all sorts of things that were way less egregious than this. And that's where I'm kind of like, well, is Dan, because it kind of feels like Dan is feared in a sense where it's like, oh, they just hit this game winner, 0.3 seconds left on the clock. If I tee him up right now, like, do I really want to do that? Like, you can't tell me officials aren't thinking about that in the moment, or things like that. So I agree that contact with the official is completely illegal and he should have been given a technical. But at the same time, I don't have any faith that anybody would be would be suspending him after the fact. That's just not what we've seen out of the NCAA.
I think it's going to be very interesting. And I just don't buy. The heady butt was shameful. Yet nobody will do anything. Nobody did anything about it. He's allowed to get away with it. I mean, this is the same guy who walked up to the Florida team, what was that, last year or 2 years ago, and said, I hope the officials don't F you the way they F'd us. No fine, no discipline. Confronting officials after, I don't remember who they were playing, but like screaming at officials after a game, no penalty. He's passionate, Monty. Like, come on. Was that towards the end of the game? That was the end of the game. That was right after the game-winning shot went in. Right after the game-winning shot went in. It just is, it's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to me. Good morning. Just woke up late. Did James jinx Arizona winning the tourney yet? Not yet. James isn't here yet, so.
Yeah,
You know.
so anyway, who do we like to win the tournament? I mean, I have to say, couldn't be rooting against Michigan any harder than I am. Don't want to see them win it. I would much prefer to see Arizona win it over UConn. No question about it. And I think it's interesting. Arizona, it'll be interesting to see if Arizona can keep shooting it as well as they had been shooting it. I mean, that's really been their thing this year. And every hot team eventually, starts to cool off a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, if I had to pick one, who do I think is going to win? These matchups are. But UConn, all the money's on UConn right now. Like the money coming in on UConn is wild. They're getting 3-1 money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's it, it's incredible to me. I mean, I think I will take Arizona to beat Michigan. I think it's going to be Illinois and Arizona.
Yeah.
I hope, because I freaking hate UConn. Wow, the UConn line's at 1.5 now. That's incredible. Like it's just.
By the way, how bad does the Big 12 need Arizona to win the championship, dude?
Ooh.
That would be huge for the Big 12.
Well, how much does the Big 10 want? Michigan and Illinois, isn't it? This is in Indianapolis, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lucas Oil.
Can you imagine a Big 10 championship game as the NCAA tournament final on Monday? How much is the Big 10 rooting for that? Right? I think it's Arizona and Illinois. I think it's because UConn was badly outplayed in that game.
Yeah.
And Duke choked. There's no other way to look at it. But I think, man, Illinois is really tenacious defense. Stojakovic is actually a really good defender.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised by that. But I'm going to Arizona and Illinois. And I think Arizona wins the whole thing.
Good. We're in agreement. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Illinois is the best team. They'll win the whole thing.
Paul didn't go in the hoop.
It scares me that we agree on things because you're not very smart.
I know.
So I feel dumb when we agree on things, Welcome to the nightmare. I had Zona in my bracket, so I'm sticking with them. There you go. I have Arizona and UConn in the finals. No Big Ten, no SEC, no ACC. But it will probably be Illinois and Michigan. Well,
if there is any God in the basketball world, it will not be an all Big Ten final. I am not in the mood to come back to this show Monday and Big Ten fan be like, oh, look at this Big Ten final. Isn't it incredible? We're the best. 800 national championships in a row. Come on. Like, not here for that, dude.
I don't want it. I don't want it at all. It is, if Michigan wins the national championship, I probably will never do another show. I don't need that in my life. Because Michigan basketball is very good. And I don't need that in my life. The fact that the Big Ten's won back-to-back national championships, but did you guys see the new Sherrone Moore video?
Oh gosh, dude, bro. Oh,
it's rough.
Did you say I heard her?
No.
You said pointed anything at her?
If I'm gonna shoot you straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I was the one who interviewed her. I was the one who spoke with her. There was a mention of that butter knife being pointed at her at some point.
Such a lie, man.
Which is why we're here.
I know. They're like, I did not do anything to her. It was all to myself. So I have to spend that in jail because she lied. I didn't do anything to her. She straight up lied. She already ruined my life enough. Like, come put me in jail.
You said she was your assistant?
Yeah.
Okay.
214 for Walter Jim.
Straight lying. I want to get rid of her, and she said I couldn't because she'd sue me. It's tough around school in the country.
Check out the colors gray at some 10-year-old. The last contact was that Thanksgiving. Mother won't return her calls or let her talk to him.
I didn't point anything at her. It's ridiculous. It's a straight
Mother, she
lie.
also has a
It's a
couple
lie.
Ooh.
dude.
So it's her fault. So let me get this right. You're the head football coach at Michigan. You're in a position of great responsibility. You have now a documented history of poor behavior. You have been alleged to have facilitated sexual encounters with multiple women. And now you get fired for an inappropriate relationship that you don't deny having with this assistant. Where you get fired, you are alleged to have gone to her home where you were charged with home invasion. You're now known as butter knives because you took a butter knife, allegedly, and threatened to off yourself.
Oh.
Because of this relationship or issues related to it. And that's her fault? She shouldn't have called the cops. That's her fault. It's her fault you had an inappropriate sexual relationship with your assistant. Now, note, I'm not saying she's blameless, but you were the guy in the position of influence. You were her supervisor. She was your assistant. And it's her fault? And it's her fault that you allegedly invaded her home? And it's her fault you threatened to butter knife yourself? That's her fault. Has it dawned on anybody else that bad actors like Sherrone Moore, Jim Harbaugh, scumbag, they never take accountability for themselves? They never say, yeah, man, probably shouldn't have been smashing my assistant. Butter knife would have never come out if I hadn't.
Would have never had to work on the country crock in her kitchen, you know.
It's wild to me that Sherrone Moore, literally being interviewed by the police, is blaming his victim. Now, again, is she innocent? Nope. She was an adult who participated in a sexual relationship with a married man. She's not innocent. No way to spin that. He was going to fire me that's not an excuse.
Me?
You participated in this relationship willingly, didn't tell anybody until you told somebody. That's not innocence. Now, are you innocent as a victim when a male intruder comes into your apartment and pulls out a butter knife on himself, you're innocent.
We did what we did.
You're innocent. Sherrone Moore's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Sherrone Moore essentially walked away from this. Will he ever coach again? No. But under no circumstance should anybody ever hire Sherrone Moore to coach again. I don't care if it's, Pop Warner. Can't have Sherrone Moore coaching your kids.
Yeah, I mean that can't happen. And I think what's wild is you can go and find this whole thing where this clip is from is like almost 10 minutes long. And it just is incredible as you watch it play out. The dude goes from, at one point, like, sobbing his eyes out to full on, as you saw in the clip, like, hey, it's her fault. She's lying. She's trying to ruin my life. Like, just going on this whole charade about how, like she's just fabricating stuff. And, like I couldn't believe that I'm hearing him say, oh, well, dude, like I never pointed a butter knife at her. Why am I having to sit in jail overnight? Or why am I having to? He even asked the cop at one point. He's like, dude, I have to see a judge. Like, what do you mean? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, he's like surprised. And I'm just sitting here saying, like, Sherrone, like, again, what is this? The Hubert Davis story? What do you mean? What do you mean, dude? Like, you were just arrested for home invasion and you think that you're not going to see a judge? Like, I can't, I just for the life of me don't understand what these guys think they're doing. And I agree with what you always say, that mental illness is hard to understand and you never can really,
you cannot rationalize the irrational.
Yeah. So it's like, I get that there's like a portion of the story that goes up that alley, but I mean, the guy was the head coach of Michigan football, dude. And we're sitting here talking about him breaking into homegirl's house and using a butter knife to, attempt to off himself, allegedly. Like, I just can't, I don't know how we get here, dude. Yeah.
You cannot fathom it.
I mean, I honestly find myself wondering, like, what was he in his state, his mental state at that time? Was he like, I'm going to go over to her house and like talk some sense into her? Was that the play? You know, like that's what I find myself wondering. And then it's like we get videos like this where it's just like, bro is laying there on a bed or whatever, and the cop is just sitting there telling him like, yeah, dude, like she said X, Y, and Z, and like at one point he's talking about how the stuff he's being charged with, some of it's felony, some of it's misdemeanor. Like they're just kind of like going through it, and Sherrone is just losing his mind. And it's like,
why do we do this as men?
Yeah.
Why do we do this as men? This is what I struggle with. Why do we as men put ourselves in this position? And I honest to God, we need to have this conversation, because I think when we talk about how difficult life is in this country right now, we're doing this shit to ourselves, right? Sherrone Moore had it all. He was the head football coach at the University of Michigan. Now, by some accounts and some reporting, he was off the rails before he was ever hired by Jim Harbaugh. But do you understand how much of his life he destroyed? His kids will never get away from this. You are now forever Sherrone Moore's child. His wife, he humiliated and ruined his wife's reputation. So you could butter knife in somebody's apartment?
Yeah, that's the crazy part too, is like, I don't know, the whole him being married, his relationship with his wife, like how they're still, I'm really curious what obviously we haven't heard from her, I doubt we will, but like, I
doubt it.
I'm very curious what her take on the whole thing is. And like, because obviously you've got the cheating portion, of course, but then there's the portion of, hey, this is my husband, like he's having an absolute meltdown. Like we kind of have phases here. But
this is the Tiger Woods conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't, my personal belief is when you have been a serial philanderer and you are accused of heinous sexual acts, doesn't your spouse have the right not to give a rat's ass about you? Aren't you getting what you have earned at some point on some level?
Yeah. I mean, certainly.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're Elin Woods and you just find out that Tiger Woods has been smashing porn stars and Perkins waitresses, and so you take a golf club to his face, who's siding with Tiger Woods? I'm not. I look at Lindsey Vonn. Lindsey Vonn, by all accounts, super cool human being. What did she get out of her relationship with Tiger Woods? He cheated on her allegedly, and their sex tapes got released.
Do you know what that's like these days?
There are just some guys who destroy every woman around them. And Sherrone Moore is one of them. Sherrone Moore is one of them. I don't even know how else she would explain it. Why? Like his wife. Do you know how hard it is just to be the wife of a football coach? Or a coach of any kind?
Yeah.
And then he goes butter knives in some chick's apartment, allegedly, because those charges went away.
That's what I'm saying. If you're her, like I almost want to say, like, one, I'm surprised you're still standing by, bro. You know, the father of kids.
Well, you
your
don't know
husband.
what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, she publicly has been seen with him. I mean,
Right, but what else would you have her do? Is she's got to show up to court. One, she's got kids with him that are young, right? Two, I mean, there's obviously a money component. You can't tell me they're going to be together forever in love, because that's not happening.
Right.
That's not happening. But I don't know what it is. I am amazed. Are you guys, what are your thoughts on this video? Like, and seriously, as men, why do we do this? Because it is all across the power spectrum. Men, when they get influence, automatically turn into pounding like porn stars. And I'll never understand it. Yeah. The video in totality, I'm warning you guys, if you go watch it, it's rough. I would not go watch it. If I am telling you not to watch it. That is, Muldoon. That's a Michigan man right there. Butter knife didn't go in the hoop. Exactly right. Butter knife didn't go in the hoop.
Dude.
Didn't go in the hoop.
Like button casuals, yes, please. This segment of the Monty Show sponsored by Country Crock Butter. When you need a good spread, call Sherrone Moore.
Come on, dude.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't work in James in that.
Dude, is there enough butter for all the toast, bro?
Yeah. Teamwork, Sherrone, does not mean starting your own team. Well, there he is. Oh, and we're on the Chaplain James White account.
Oh, so today we're serving the Lord. Okay.
You know, this dude breaks into his girlfriend's house and then says he didn't do anything. He is delusional. It's all her fault. You know, the butter knife bandit. Exactly. Well, at one point, the butter knife got pointed at her. No, it didn't. She's a liar. I'm sure she's not. Sherrone, I don't believe you. I don't believe anything that comes out of your face. Right?
What? How do we not believe Sherrone Moore? Wow. You know?
And this idea that he's talking about how she ruined my life, man. Get out of here.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
And at one point, he went on something about how women are always doing this. What do you mean women are always doing this? Right? Like, he takes no accountability for himself.
Yeah, I love the pivot to painting with a broad brush is always a sign that dudes know they're in trouble, dude.
Yeah, it is just incredible to me that we continue to be in this place where, yeah, nobody even takes accountability anymore for their own nonsense. Nobody takes accountability for their own nonsense. And it's remarkable to me that Sherrone Moore will get a job. My guess is Sherrone Moore will end up at some community college, or what do you want to bet? Art Briles is working. Art Briles is getting jobs, and major college football programs wanted to hire him, but the blowback was too much.
Yeah, he'll get hired on someone's staff, buried in some kind of like analyst position.
I would agree with that.
He won't be a head coach or a coordinator or anything like that. They will hire him and give him the title of like, tape cutter guy or something. Whatever. Like
tape
just
cutter guy.
Yeah, like dude that sits in the back office that does not ever have access to the media, that they can then be like, hey, dude, this is how you can make an impact. We'll pay you, 80 a year and you can be part of football still.
Hey, look at that. Calamoni in this morning with 20 Monty Show membership. Hey, listen, if you don't have a Monty Show membership at this point, that's a you problem, because Calamoni has funded your free ride for how long now? Ages. Calamoni, always good to see you. Appreciate that. Always appreciate your contribution. Sherrone says she is trying to ruin his life. I think Buddy did that all by himself. Yes, he did.
Agreed.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Other than being completely out of his ever-loving mind, I just never understood grabbing a butter knife. What, a wood spoon wasn't available? Right? Either get a real knife or something, a butter knife. Yeah,
You're so fucked.
Yeah, find the dullest object you can find. Right? It's wild to me. A pizza cutter would have worked better, Sherrone. You guys are heartless. He might get a job as a defensive coordinator for Team Oneida. The Wonders. Okay. That's a movie reference. Sherrone should never be able to coach in college football again, or any sport for that matter. Never, but he will. Maybe in his mind, he was holding a machete, but in reality, it was a butter knife. Who knows? Sherrone Moore knew he was screwed. Oh, yes. He had a mental break.
Dude, when he's crying in the video about going to jail, he knows he's done for, dude. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's Ryan Day's brother's fault, the private investigator.
Oh, Sherrone's Butter Knives is in the chat. Well.
Okay,
welcome to the show,
admittedly,
dude.
I didn't notice that. Sherrone's Butter Knives. If there is anything right in this world, please, God, don't let Michigan win the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I don't need Michigan man
Please.
butter knifing in the comment section, dude.
Please.
Please save me from the drama, dude. I don't need that, dude, at all, even a little bit. We don't need that in our life right now.
And then Marcus has to get serious. Let's have an adult conversation.
And it sucks.
The Sherrone Moore situation also reflects poorly on men of color. It's a stereotype that we'll never outrun. You're not wrong. I think that's a very interesting. It's a very interesting conversation.
The stereotype being what?
That black men are always cheating on their wives, are like just the stereotypes around black men and sex. It's a black man and a white woman. Like the stereotypes are rough.
Yeah.
The stereotypes are rough. I agree with that.
I mean, if you want to talk about you want to talk about, black head coaches getting opportunity. Yeah. I mean, that was talked about a ton when the Sherrone thing initially came out. A lot of people talked about how, hey, this is really hurting other individuals' chances at being a head coach and doing that. And I don't know. Yeah.
Well, but
yeah, here we go again.
And obviously what Sherrone Moore did and what, Tiger did Eldrick did are completely different. Right? I mean, Buddy trying to say, well, I think it's likely. My opinion is Tiger probably was on pain meds. I'm still not willing to take that jump. I think the reasonable explanation of him being a distracted driver, that's reasonable.
Okay, well,
and he pled not guilty yesterday. I want to make this clear.
yeah.
He asked for a trial in front of a jury. And Tiger Woods yesterday also said that he is going to rehab and that he is not going to play in the Masters. And that if you read this, I'm committed to taking the time needed to return in a healthier, stronger, and more focused place, personally and professionally. I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for privacy for my family, loved ones, and myself at this time. And obviously, he will not be playing at Augusta, which clearly he was trying to play. But again, all this is a stereotype, because now we know that Tiger was helped out of his Land Rover by the guy he hit, the guy that was driving the trailer, and I guess somebody that was nearby also helped him out of that vehicle through the passenger window. And he was allegedly sweating profusely. He was nervous, and he told the cops that he was alleged to have had oxycodone in his pocket, several pills that he said were prescribed because he's had over 20 surgeries on his leg and multiple surgeries on his back. But again, what we as dudes do is we think we're bulletproof. We think, I'm Tiger Woods. They're not, what are they going to do? Well, what they're going to do is arrest you. What they're going to do is sell a lot of golf shirts for you. And you're going to get humiliated again. Because now you're a gif and a meme.
So the fact that he's going to rehab doesn't get you to a spot where you're willing to say that he was on, whatever he was on.
I think the fact that he's going to rehab says he has a problem. Anytime criminality is involved, because it is very plausible he was driving distracted.
Right.
And it is very plausible that he was following too close, and we know he's a guy that speeds. It makes sense. Would he have missed that trailer if he didn't have those pills in his pocket? I don't know. I have no idea. Am I willing to sit here and say that Tiger Woods was under the influence of narcotics? I'm not. Because I don't know that to be true. I think it is wildly irresponsible for people to be assuming that Tiger Woods was under the influence while he was driving that car.
Well, I mean, at a minimum, I think we could say the optics aren't great. What's factual and what's true is obviously a different conversation. But the optics, for Tiger right now are not great. And I think that I think what's challenging is that this is kind of what I said the first day this came out. Like, bro needs to decide what's next in his life, and that's really what I think is challenging for him. And I understand the struggle with golf for Tiger. I get it, dude. Like, you were the greatest golfer of all time, certainly the best of your generation. You were on top of the world, dude. You were untouchable. And then injuries crept up on you. Your body kind of let you down. You've had all these surgeries. Obviously, the pain that you deal with in the day-to-day, I get that, dude. That's got to be miserable. But with that being said, the workload that you have with trying to get a LIV PGA merger done, TGL, trying to play in the Masters, like, it's a lot, dude. It would be a lot if you were healthy.
He travels the world designing golf. I think people don't understand this. The guy, outside of everything he did with TGL, all of his responsibilities on the PGA Tour, he quite literally travels the world designing golf courses. He has multiple projects around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy is never just chilling. It is very rare. And the thing that's amazing to me is, what did everybody immediately go to? What is TMZ talking about? Well, his girlfriend's breaking up with him. Who cares? Who cares? Like the guy, do I believe that Tiger Woods is an addicted to painkillers? Probably. His body is a wreck. He did that to himself. He owes us better as his fellow neighbors than to be allegedly driving under the influence of narcotics.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that, of course. Am I going to say he's guilty of DUI? No. No. Not until let's see him go through the legal process. Does he use painkillers? I think it's pretty obvious he does.
Yeah. But that's not the issue, right? The issue isn't whether he uses them or not. The issue is whether they were in his system when he was driving, which they're going to have a hell of a time proving.
Correct.
And from a legal standpoint, what he's actually guilty of outside of being an awful driver. And that's the hard part, man, is like as a golf fan and a golf connoisseur and someone who really watches the game every single week, because I do, I think it's difficult when I look at the world of golf and I sit here and I say, like, there are names on the tour right now that really should be doing more, that should be helping the game move forward, that just aren't doing enough. I think about, Jordan Spieth and, obviously Justin Thomas has come back from back fusion surgery and things like that. Like, there are a lot of names out there that aren't doing enough. Notice Scotty's not winning every week. So now all of a sudden we're looking for other names. And, you've got guys who have been around for a while, like Gary Woodland, who just won again. And that was a nice story, but like, you don't have anything that's the size and scope that Tiger was. And I still think that he has this hope for himself that he will return to glory and he will realize another one of those moments on Sunday. And I just don't know that he will ever do that again, dude. And I think that there is this, this struggle in humanity of like doing so many things at once. And he certainly struggles from that. And it's like, again, he'll never need for money. He'll never need really for anything. This is all just self-inflicted, dude. Like, whether we want to admit it or not, like, getting into this kind of accident is on him. Like, this is your fault, dude. Like, if let's take the alleged, pills and all that out of it. If he just said, hey, dude's got everything and he's in yet another car accident, this one not nearly as bad as the other one in the Lexus, like, what are we doing? And that's what I would say to Tiger. What are you doing? Like, I get it. You want to design golf courses. I understand you have a place in the golf world and everyone looks to you.
But you understand what this is, right? He can't turn off the competitive desire. And I understand it. I think it's incredibly difficult when you are as competitive as these guys have to be elite as an athlete. You have to have some mental deficiency. I am of the belief that to be an elite athlete, to be the best Major League Baseball player, the best NBA player, the best golfer, the best quarterback, you have to have some mental deficiency. Because what's required to perform at that level, that's not average. There's nothing average about what Tiger Woods does. His obsession with practice. Hours and hours and hours of his day gone to practice. And you don't just turn that off. You do not just turn that off, and you never think it's over. You never think it's over. It's over. And I've talked about this on the show before. We talked about this with Giselle and Tommy. I don't believe you should say to somebody you should retire. Unless you were talking about Tua.
What's the difference?
Tiger Woods should stop being a competitive golfer. Move into management. You want to compete on TGL? Okay, that's different. You should not, Tiger Woods should not be trying to physically prepare himself to play in the Masters. You can't walk the course, dude.
Nope.
Because you were driving over twice the legal limit and you crashed your car and almost died. You damn near lost your leg. You couldn't compete physically before that. And certainly you're not able to compete physically after that. And if he continues, and this is the painkiller part of this.
Yeah.
He's not a drug addict. He's in pain. So he is living on that stuff. What do you think that's doing to his body?
Nothing good.
And then there's the leg, and then there's the back. Right? Like, so all of that. And then you look at, well, look at all the painkillers. What is that doing to my system? What is that doing to my liver? What is that doing to... You need to let the ghost go because it's not coming back.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have any problem with him, taking some opportunities. Like I think the best fit for him in the golf world right now is, there are several tournaments on tour every year where, like the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, or like, you have these opportunities that are a little more casual on tour that are not like the Masters or the Players or like major tournaments.
Yeah, the one where you and your kid play together. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that, where Tiger could easily go out there, play a couple of rounds. It isn't a big deal. Everyone's happy you're there. Like, it doesn't need to be like this big, stressful thing. And this is the problem with golf, man, is that it just gets, guys who were competitive at that level just can't seem to say, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm getting close to my 50s at this point or whatever, however old he is. And I had my time and I can still go out there and have a great time. I can still go out there and enjoy myself and have competitive moments over the ball. But I don't need to, to torch myself for months on end trying to figure out how to make this work with a leg that frankly is not fit to walk. I mean, gosh, I don't even know. I mean, maybe search it real quick. I mean, how many miles is it to walk Augusta National? I mean, it must be, over the course of the week. I mean, it's got to be like 15 miles, dude.
No, it's like 7 miles around.
Yeah. Okay. So 28 miles, let's say, almost 30 miles, 25 to 30 miles. Like that's, if you play all 4 days, assuming you make the cut, I mean, that's an insane amount of walking. And I think what people don't understand about Augusta National is the undulation in the course, right? I mean, it is not a links golf flat, just walking flat. No, it's not. Part of the challenge of Augusta is just how hard it is to walk the course. So it's just a thing where I don't want to see the bro suffer anymore. I don't want to see this bro out on the street, dealing with police, putting other people in danger. I don't want to see this out of Tiger anymore, man. I want to see you building courses, having fun with having fun with Charlie. Like, give us more of that. Don't give me this part of your existence anymore. That he just needs, into your point, like he doesn't have a person that he goes to who's like, yeah, dude, you probably, we probably need to make some adjustments here. Like we do. Like we need to, like, how is he supposed to be the Ryder Cup captain now? Don't think you can do that now. Like, I just don't think that that's a fit.
He will be at some point. I think right now it's probably not going to happen, but he absolutely should be a Ryder Cup captain. There's no question. Tiger should redirect his competitive drive to focus on being the best at something other than golf. I wish it worked that way.
Yeah, I don't think you quite understand, Tom. Golf is his existence, dude. That's the problem.
It's his entire life. And it's awfully tough to turn that off. Awfully difficult to turn that off. Although he never had the success as Tiger, John Daly is another guy that basically ruined his own career. Well, I mean, John was never the fitness guy that Tiger was. But yeah, I would agree with that. Tiger needs to get clean first, then worry about golf. I don't know that he's not clean. I think we're all leaping to Tiger Woods is not a whatever you want to call it. He's not a drug addict. He's not a Tiger Woods
abuser.
Has a pain problem. You have to solve the pain problem. To solve the pain problem, you probably have to stop playing golf. That's the reality of it, because you're going to replace it. What I think a lot of people don't understand is if you're Tiger Woods and you don't play golf, what are you going to replace golf with?
Something, because he's not just going to turn it off. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to. I don't think people quite get this. He's not going to leave golf. That's not the answer. That's not the solution for Tiger Woods. The solution for Tiger Woods is finding a happy medium where he's still able to go out on course in an event that he can make money at and compete and feel that. But it's not going to be the Masters. It's not going to be the Players or like any major tournament, that like golf major tournament. It's not going to be that level of golf anymore, which is fine, dude. That's not an indictment on Tiger, bro. Which I feel like he probably takes it that way, knowing how competitive he is. He probably takes it as a personal indictment that, hey, I can't get it going for the Masters anymore. Like, I'm past that, but hey, you want to play, he's got his tournament early in the year. You could easily play Phoenix.
He's got the Genesis. He's got the Hero.
The Genesis, like the Hero. Like, there's plenty of opportunities for bro to come out here and play, I would say max 10 times a year. Max. I would love to see Tiger on course in player mode maybe 7 times a year. And I would love it if they found a way to make it so that, and I don't know how you would do it, but I'm not confident he can put 4 rounds together back to back to back, regardless of whether he makes the cut or not. I just don't think physically he can.
This dude almost had his leg.
Yeah. Like, literally you crushed your leg when you crashed the Lexus, dude. Like, I think people just think that that's like that's what I was saying last week. If you guys remember last week, I said on the show, if you ever watch TGL and Tiger's playing, wait for the low angle when he's hitting driver. The low angle on the driver box, you can clearly see that his leg looks gnarly, dude. Like, that's why he wears the leg sleeve he does, because it's just after the surgery and it's brutal.
Yeah. Come on. He was busy watching the Monty Show on his phone. Absolutely could have been. Absolutely could have been. Hate those PR releases where they just want privacy and they're going to rehab, having all kinds of affairs, sex addict rehab, and so on. Yeah.
Well, I think that's also a talking point for Tiger. Tiger historically has always been a guy that doesn't, with the off the course stuff, wants privacy, right? Obviously on the course is a different thing, but he's always said, hey, like, that's private. I respect my privacy. He even said it in the statement there. Like, so this guy has always been the one that is looking for, privacy. And yeah, like the last line, and ask for privacy from my family, loved ones, and myself at this time. Well, the problem, Tiger, is that you don't get that privacy when we're talking about this type of situation. You don't get to just say, hey, well, I just flipped my Land Rover, a 5,000-pound SUV, in the street, and there are accusations of what may or may not have been in my system, and
I flipped my Land Rover and got arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
On a residential street about 5 blocks from my house.
And you're trying to tell us you want privacy. That doesn't work, dude. And that's I didn't want to bring that angle up. I was hoping to skip it, but since it got brought up, like, yeah, you don't get to have it both ways, dude.
Not at all.
That's not how the world works, dude. And I will be extremely interested in how long this vacation from golf lasts. What does, let's say today's April 1st. Is Tiger back in the game, back full time by June? Is it July?
I hope not.
Is it
I don't know.
like
I hope we don't
you know
see
what I
him
mean?
for a very long time.
Yeah, like what is a good amount of time? I mean, I would be shocked if it was more than a year. But I mean, certainly like 6 months, probably. Like, I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm curious about.
Who knows? It takes what it takes, right?
Yeah.
It takes what it takes. I hope, I'm with everybody else. I mean, I hope he gets help. I think it's
And
tough.
at some point, he's going to have to talk about it.
Being a golf fan or not, the dude does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. Everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt. Gets no sympathy from me. In some cases, he is as mad as Sherrone. Come on, now you're going too far. Should get the same backlash. He should not. He should not. He is, listen, we can say a lot of things about Tiger Woods. It doesn't matter what could have happened. I see a lot of this as well. Well, he could have killed somebody. He didn't. He didn't. Tiger Woods had a car accident. Multiple car accidents. He almost killed himself. But under no circumstance is anything that Tiger Woods done, even in the realm of butter knives. That's going too far.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that people want to, people. It's like little comments like James made earlier about, hey, bro needs to get clean. Well, you don't know if he needs to get clean, dude. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, just don't know.
You just don't know. And I think that, Bobby, with all due respect, dude, I think you over toasted your bagel here when you said that you get no sympathy for Tiger, because ultimately I agree the dude's a billionaire and he needs, I'd like some accountability out of Tiger. That's what I personally would like. I'd like to hear Tiger say, hey, I made a mistake here. I've made this mistake multiple times and it's time for me to make some changes, not only for my own well-being, but like for my family's well-being, for my circle's well-being. Like, I need to make some changes. And so that, going to rehab is step one of that. But in the long term, this dude didn't break into someone's house. This dude didn't allegedly threaten another individual with a butter knife and then allegedly try to off himself with that very same butter knife. Like that's not what we're talking about with Tiger. This picture right here tells you everything you need to know as to why this is different than the Sherrone Moore situation. This is different because this is dude who's got a ton of money, who's doing whatever the hell he's doing, rolling his car, taking pictures like this. And just for perspective, nobody's buying Sherrone Moore's shirt and everyone's buying Tiger's shirt, just so we're all on the same page. So I just let's not take it too far, dude. Let's not take it too far.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Monty said, he can still do the business of creating high-end golf courses. He's very good as a golf course designer. Be like MJ, find something like NASCAR. MJ, what was MJ's vice? Allegedly gambling was his vice, right? Tom Dean, Tiger should reflect his competitive drive to focus on being the best at something other than golf. I think that's very difficult to do, right? Dude just needs to go to therapy, physical and psychological. Well, apparently he's doing that, right? So, and read my full comment. I said some ways. He's not anyway like Sherrone Moore.
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
Okay, why don't you, since you're saying that we didn't read your full comment, why don't you pontificate on how this is the same? What do you mean it's the same situation? You said in your last comment that in some ways Tiger gets as mad as Sherrone does. What does that mean, dude? What does his anger have to do with any of this? Like, I'm genuinely like, I don't understand the comparison. Like,
being a golf fan or not, the dude does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. Everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt. Gets no sympathy from me. In some cases, he is as mad as Sherrone. Should get the same backlash.
What
Absolutely
cases
not.
is he as mad as Sherrone? Like, I guess what I don't understand is when you say he's as mad as Sherrone in some cases. Well, I don't really think
angry, mad, crazy mad. Like, what is? I don't know what that means. I would agree. nothing that Tiger Woods has done is similar or even in the same sphere as what Sherrone Moore did. Nothing
Genuinely,
at all.
that's what I don't get. I don't understand what comparison you're drawing here. Like, are you trying to say that Tiger is as irresponsible as Sherrone, or like, I just need you to explain like what comparison you're actually drawing on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is. It's rough, dude. The whole thing is rough. I just don't. I have a lot of compassion for somebody like Tiger. Tiger Woods reminds me of Walter Payton.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Payton lost his life to a lot of pain medication. And I hope that's not what happens with Tiger.
Yeah, the difference is I want Tiger to do well. That's the difference. Even I mean, if we're talking about character and personal issues, even with all of the issues he's had over the years, I still want the bro to do well, you know, because I don't think like he's a bad human being. That for me, that would be the biggest difference between him and like Sherrone or anyone else you wanna try to compare him to, is that Tiger, I don't feel like is a horrible person, you know, doing just awful things. I think the guy is a little irresponsible with his driving habits and is just so obsessed with being the guy again on tour that he can't, he almost suffers from the obsession of it. And that's his biggest problem.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Bobby Bagels is locks and loaded in the comment section. See, locks versus locks.
Right. It all kind of fits together. Right.
You know, locks. Like, because locks and like locked and locks.
Right.
You know, yeah, but he can drive the course.
So see what he did there? He's the best driver on the course in his prime, but also the worst driver on the road in his prime.
You know.
Yeah. See? I mean, it just perfectly exemplifies the conversation.
How
right?
stupid. And I bet they sold out of those head covers. Do you guys know why we were talking
to rock that, dude? That's incredible, bro.
You would buy that.
Oh, I would, dude. If you took that out on course, if you had that in your bag and you're driving around the course, dude, if anybody sees that, they are going to say, bro, that's an incredible head cover, dude. No question about it.
Let's see. Tiger Woods, DUI or mugshot. Let's go mugshot.
Yeah. Tiger Woods mugshot head cover. Yeah.
Yes, it is available on Etsy. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Are you kidding me? It is $32.99. And it is available on. And it is his mugshot and
his money.
It is a combination of this picture right here and this picture right here. Yeah, I don't think so. Do people actually buy stuff on Etsy? I mean, I know they do.
They do.
I know they do.
Etsy's good for customization stuff like this. Like when you need Tiger Woods mugshot driver head cover, you go to Etsy.
You know, Wear It Golf also has one. The first headshot or mugshot of him is so much worse.
Yes.
It's so much worse. I actually don't think in this mugshot that he looks whacked out of his mind.
No, I don't either. That's what I'm saying. He may have had pills in his pocket, but I don't think that he looks like strung out or like under the influence or anything. I actually don't think I agree with you.
No, I would agree. I mean, I don't know. Is that what he means? I don't know what Bagels
I'm
meant.
still waiting for Bobby Bagels to explain his take. So hopefully he's able to at some point.
Yeah, I just hope Tiger, here, let me be cliche, gets the help that he needs. So desperately needs. That's my hope. Right? Like that's what he needs is if he's addicted to painkillers, dude, I don't want to wake up one day to the notification that Tiger Woods is dead. Right? I mean, that's not what I want.
No.
That's not what I want. I can see Tiger's rehab stint being somewhere in the 90-day timeline. As a lifelong fan, just hoping he gets the help he needs. Yeah. Joey, Tiger gonna be back on the Denny's night shift side piece trail soon. Well, that's probably never going away. That's probably, what do you call his sexcapades? You know, the distraction or
side
whatever.
Quest.
Side quest. Yeah.
Yeah, his side quest.
You know.
Yeah.
Tiger threatens himself with an umbrella thinking it's a driver. Okay. You know, I wonder if Tiger, why are we on the Chaplain James White account?
Yeah, seriously. James, quick question, dude. How do you decide which comment or which account you comment from? I mean, obviously you've got the Dana Marie account. You have the OSU account. You've also got this account. And then there's also the TCU James account. So how do you decide? Is it just like whichever, Face ID logs you in with, or like, how do you decide?
Do you just rock whatever the algo tells you to do?
Yeah. Right. I mean, what's the
algo
deal?
James White?
Right.
I wonder if Tiger doesn't have legal rights to some of the money made by selling those covers.
No.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I already typed it. It's in there. Who? Bobby Bagels is in red assery mode today.
Hey, Bobby, dude, I actually looked ahead because I saw you commented this. It's actually not in there. I went back and there's no actual other comment besides the ones we've already read for you. So type it again.
Thoughts and prayers, bitches. Okay.
Right. Monty's favorite.
I have a work phone. You have a burner phone.
See, this is what I'm saying, dude. We've been accusing you of this for how long on the show, and now you're copping to it, finally. So James has finally admitted that he has a burner phone that he also comments from. So we're making progress now.
Dana, congratulations for being honest. That helps a lot.
If you guys ever want to kick it, we'll flow.
James has a burner phone. Does your wife know you have a burner phone? The TCU Monkey account also, Jake. There you go.
Right. The TCU Monkey account. Right. So that's the other one. And as I understand it, yeah, this bro right here is the one who runs that account. So, I'm just saying. There it is. See, that's the TCU account owner right there. TCU Monkey account. Exactly.
This is Chaplain James White's crush. She does look so pure, doesn't she? Magic City Wang Thang James account. That could absolutely be.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Wang Thang.
Guys. Hey, guys.
Just a question over here, okay? Bobby Bagel says it's on the record.
It's on the record, Monty.
Monty, I made a video last week about this. It's on the record. I tweeted it at you. How did you not see it? I mean, come on.
The record's different than FTR, though.
Which is different than NGL.
Right.
So,
Right, by the way.
Right.
Etsy also sells butter knives with Sherrone Moore's face. Okay.
Oh.
So cold-blooded. It's the sex stuff. You take vows for a reason. I cannot stand people who cheat, let alone multiple times. Sorry, but that's how I was raised. Well, I don't know why you're apologizing. I think infidelity is weakness. Plain and simple.
I agree, but dude, so the question was, what's the comparison you're making between Eldrick and Sherrone?
Eldritch.
And you're saying that this is a similar case because they both have, dabbled in infidelity, clearly, as we all know. I guess, but I'm not looking at it in that lens, dude. I'm just looking at, hey, this is the crime that bro allegedly committed, and this is what Tiger did. I guess I just feel like it's different. Like Tiger hasn't. I mean, how long has it been for Tiger since he's even been in an actual legitimate, like serious relationship? Because I'm not buying this whole.
It's been a while.
Yeah, the woman who shall not be named due to the YouTube algo that he, his current girlfriend who gave him the ultimatum allegedly about this stuff needs to stop. I'm not buying that that's like a legitimate, we're trying to get married type situation. That screams, hey, we all like to play Trump National and that's it, So I don't know. It just always felt kind of fabricated to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is. I think it's very difficult, no matter how you spin this. No matter how you spin this, I think it is very difficult to sit here and believe that Tiger Woods or Sherrone Moore are innocent. But I'm telling you, there is no comparison to either one. No. There just is. There's no comparison.
And I also would say I think that it's the situations couldn't be more different. And when I say that, what I mean is that you look at Sherrone's case, and that's an abusive power situation. That's somebody who was involved with his assistant, you know, and it's just a nasty, devious, situation. Tiger's stuff was more like, hey, bro, you're the best golfer in the world. You're married, have a kid, and you just thought it was okay on the side to, hook up with someone that didn't work for you and was just a person in the
hundreds.
World. Like, yeah, like, and I agree, hundreds for sure. But like, that's my point. I just feel like it's kind of the circumstances matter, and they couldn't be more different.
Yep. Chewy for $2. James burner phone is for side quests. It is a bit
Monty,
of a revelation.
I don't take the main freeway, dude. I take the side road.
It is a revelation that James has a burner phone.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude. And James, I want to give you credit, dude. I really appreciate that you took accountability and you finally have admitted to having a burner phone. Is that the same burner phone that you were in the comments section on last week when you were at Magic City getting the lemon pepper wings? Is that the device you were using at that point?
But it was curbside to go.
Right. So he's not supporting the business that goes on inside. I mean, we all know that Chaplain James White would never condone, adult activities. Right.
Speaking of which,
well, hello.
Sherrone used his position to get what he wanted. Tiger is the ultimate playboy and is thinking he's Ric Flair. Okay. James is now officially the mascot of the show Hilarious Banter. Well, since Big Daddy Magic turned to negative, angry, insulting guy, maybe James is the official mascot of the show. Him and the Walmart manager.
Look at this, dude. Look at his next comment here, right at the bottom, dude. Bro, this is not a burner phone. This is my work phone. It has a 254 area code. My private phone still has an 816 because I used to live in KC. Who are you, Tiger, with a private phone?
Yeah, so which number do you give to the hose?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify. So you have a burner, you have the work phone, and you have your personal cell. So you actually have 3 phones that you could log into YouTube on and comment, which it really does explain the TCU, monkey account, this account, the Chaplain James White account, and the OSU account. So now it's all starting. The spider web of conspiracies around James' phone is starting to come together now, dude.
And I'm going to guess the Dana Marie burner is the 816 because, well, it's Kansas City. Okay, I just ate a pumpernickel bagel, so I'm good now. Okay, we've settled down. Dude, pumpernickel is so underrated. You and I both know.
Okay, but the question is what kind of spread was on the bagel? Because that's what defines people. We know
schmear. It's schmear, please.
Yeah, sorry. Schmear.
Yeah, what kind of schmear was on the bagel? James is a Missouri fan also. He is.
Well, I mean, is it really that surprising though, Frogfather? I mean, what with what we know? I mean, so let me get this right. TCU, Okie Light, Baylor in Chrome Dome, Dave Aranda. No Frog. I am TCU all the way. I do like how Mizzo fixed their stadium. That looks good. Okay, so you are a Mizzo fan then. That's what you're saying.
So I don't want to hear about Oklahoma State from you anymore because you're TCU all the way. Or is that just on the 254 phone? The 816 phone.
Depends what phone he's using, bro.
The 816 phone. I'm so confused.
Yeah, is Missouri Stadium even fixed at this point, dude? Like, weren't they the team that was on ESPN and half their stadium was under construction this past season?
Why don't you have a 214 area code? How come you don't have a Tarrant County phone?
Yeah, next question.
Yeah,
please respect my privacy. Next question.
Oak State needs to apologize for treating President Shrum so bad.
Don't deflect. Don't deflect.
Yeah, don't deflect.
But we're talking about your phones here, dude. Come on.
Yeah, which one do the hoes call?
And by the way, do you not have a Texas number since you're a Texas State fan as well?
And since you're a pimp as well, which phone do the hoes call when they're ready to pay you? Or do you just show up and do your rounds? Nobody has multiple.
How about that?
Nobody. You have a burner phone in the 816. Or is that the 254? We're gonna have to figure this out now.
That's an issue.
I thought James was a Texas State fan too. He is.
Bobcats, dude. 7th best team in Texas, allegedly.
And stuff.
Such as in like.
K Nurin.
Questions.
Always be sure to turn off your phone so your wife doesn't see what's on it. Well, let me ask you this, James. Does the wife have access to all the phones all the time? I mean, you are a chaplain, so there is some, privilege there.
Have we been fooled by this guy's name? Chaplain James White had us thinking that he was a priest. Maybe Chaplain James White is actually his pimp name, and he's just disguised as a priest. That's what okay. So see, now this is a revelation because now it makes sense why you were at Magic City. You were recruiting for your business. It all makes sense now.
Business
That's
expense.
what it was.
The Pearl Handle. The Pearl Handle Pimp.
Yes.
That's your new nickname. The Pearl Handle Pimp.
That's it, dude. Okay.
It's all coming together.
Man, what a productive show, dude. I can't believe we figured this out together. Great job, dude.
Which phone number does Magic City have on file? Got to be the 816. Not that the scumbags that live in Kansas City, 816. There's some characters on this show. Pixar Mom, Seaman Demon James, Bobby Bagels.
God, Seaman Demon James. I forgot about that one, dude.
Bobby Bagels, BDM, Frogfather. Yeah. Although I am disappointed in Big Daddy Magic. His turn to heel. He's a John Cena fan now.
Yep.
So.
And his name is John Cena.
I am a little disappointed in Big Daddy Magic. He's not here today. He's probably still sleeping off the weed high. But, the Chaplain is a pretty good pimp name. Not going to lie. I think it is.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. We've all been fooled for years on this show over his So is the whole, do you actually have an MDiv, or was that also a business expense for this business you're running?
Or is that is MDiv an acronym for like pimp slap or Pearl Handle? Like your new name is Pearl Handle Pete. I mean, I just think that's what it is.
Facial recognition.
Mizzou Stadium is still being worked on, I think, was badly needed. Season tickets were getting sold out. Here's some issues. Same issues are going on in Provo. Yeah, you don't need a bigger stadium in Provo.
You don't need to expand Lavelle, dude. I'm telling you, that's a mistake.
My wife knows my code. There's no hiding anything.
Oh, so she does the accounting for your business.
Oh, does she? You bring the cash home then and she counts it.
Oh, okay. So it's like
I
that.
like it. I like it. Chaplain James was driving the pressure washer truck that Tiger collided with. Hey, we all have callings.
Bro.
You know, ain't no pimp talking about stadiums that much. Could be true. Once BDM started liking John Cena, it all changed. I agree.
Yeah, it's what you said, dude. He turned heel for sure.
The Seaman Demon Chaplain James. Yeah. I graduated with my MDiv on May 14, 2011. I thought you were just now getting your MDiv at TCU.
Dude, you're making this a lot harder for yourself than it needs to be. I thought you said you went to TCU to take accelerated courses to get your MDiv, dude. Is that not what you said?
Were you and it's okay if you were. Were you only in Fort Worth to recruit off the TCU cheerleading team for your business?
I don't know. I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
That's what it feels like. That's what I watch Landman. I know what TCU cheerleaders look like.
You are not.
It's interesting what we're learning about James. It's very interesting what we're learning about James. His MDiv stuff. You know, but if you're going to go to James for confession, I would just remind you his wife knows the code to the phone.
We're in a control position.
Priest parishioner privilege may not apply. You know.
Not sure how much I'd be confessing.
Yeah, Pearl Handle Pete probably ain't the guy you want to confess to.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
You know. I think he has given up charting. For
yeah, charting was always a code word for keeping the ledger of revenue in his, quote, business.
Maybe this is why he has so much stress that he needed a butt buzzer. The hose weren't kicking down. The hose weren't kicking down. Pearl Handle Pete had to go handle it business.
Yeah, dude. 100%, bro. 100%.
Wangs. Yes, a doctorate of ministry was the origin of the demon and that later semen demon. Okay. Hey, look, you MDiv, I don't MDiv, you know.
Yeah.
How did we get here? All right, can we hate on Dan Lanning for a while?
Oh, man, our favorite pastime.
So, slaminal, throat slammer Dan, Jake's hero, has been getting trolled by USC because Dan talked a bunch of garbage last year about how the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And, you know, USC, you guys may not know this. USC flipped several big-time Oregon recruits. And so they started getting a little chippy on social media because, you know, it's always green at Oregon. Okay, fight on. See, we went from green to orange. But then that was pretty subtle. This is, because remember, the grass is always greener at Oregon. Or is it? I got to tell you, I mean, that is a masterclass.
There was some social media trolling from USC after some recruiting news came through this week a couple of times. I'm wondering your reaction to stuff like that in the moment.
Yeah, no reaction. I'm much more focused on winning the fall.
No reaction. I'm just focused on ball over here. Your boy had no reaction to that?
No.
He got
why would he
torched?
Dude, why would he have a reaction to a team that hasn't sniffed the CFP in how long? Why would he have a reaction to a team that's
Biden's
nowhere near ESPN's 2026 way too early CFP prediction?
It's Joe
right?
Biden's fault. Joe Biden.
Why do we care? Honestly.
Because it's amazing out of USC. And I agree.
It's great trolling. It's great trolling, for sure.
I agree that Dan shouldn't, listen, wolves don't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep.
Yeah.
Right? You're a gnat flying around my pile of dung. Get out of here. This is elite trolling by USC. Is anybody taking Lincoln Riley over Dan Lanning?
No.
I'm going to say no.
Nope.
Absolutely
not. Absolutely
this is
not.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is good, lighthearted poking of the bear. I agree. But again, it has to be said, dude. If you're going to do this stuff in the offseason, you better win, dude. You better be, because again, I will keep receipts. If you're not in the CFP, if you're not competing for the Big Ten, if you find a way to lose one possession games to, pet OU again, if you find a way to have that week where, we didn't tackle well, we got to work on our tackling technique, we got to do that, whatever the excuse is this year, dude. It's the same tried and true formula at USC under Lincoln Riley. Loads of talent, best recruiting class ever. We're incredible. And then what do we get? Absolutely nothing. Not even in the conversation, not competitive. You're not that guy, pal. So, yes, social media team's amazing. A1, top tier, right? But until you start winning, what does it really mean?
Would anybody here, in all seriousness, take Lincoln Riley over Dan Lanning? I think it's a lot closer than people make it out to be. And I think the recruiting stuff we talked about yesterday, I think the Dan Lanning's tendency to lose big games, I think it's a lot closer than people think. Because I think Lincoln Riley's more accomplished as a head coach than Dan Lanning is. Lincoln Riley's been at it longer. What?
You're not seriously sitting here defending Lincoln Riley against Dan Lanning, dude.
Yes, I am.
Come on.
Yes, I am.
Come on.
So wait.
Come on.
How old is Lincoln? I need to look up how old. Lincoln Riley's
in his 40s,
45?
I believe. Yeah,
I think he's 45, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Riley is incredibly accomplished. I mean, he's got four or five conference championships in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
But is that worth a whole lot? It's probably not. Is the fact that he's got multiple top 10 finishes, is the fact that, he's got, what was he? I think he's approaching this year. He'll break 100 wins. I think Lincoln Riley's a pretty damn good head coach. And I think that when you look at the problem is, this is his 5th year, I think, at USC. His 5th year at USC. He's only been to a bowl game 2 out of the 4 years. It's a problem. His best finish is 12th. That's a problem. You're not top 5 Lincoln Riley. But maybe you never were. Maybe those were Bob Stoops' teams. Because I hear that all the time. I'm telling you, Lincoln Riley is better than you think he is. But this is a year where he's got to prove he can develop talent and win games. I don't think that Dan Lanning is as... I don't know that either one of them has accomplished a whole lot. Right? Like, what are we...
Well, there's the obvious, of course, the obvious difference of CFP participation, and yes, I agree. As we always go back and forth about Dan Lanning, yes, He has not won the biggest games that he needs to win. I agree with you. That's the indictment on his name right now. There's no denying it. But we wanted to have this conversation with Kyle Whittingham. We're now having this conversation with Lincoln Riley. And my take is the same. I understand, again, with Lincoln, sure, he did have, you want to talk about quarterback development? You want to talk about Heismans? You want to talk about
4 Heisman Trophy winners?
Yeah. Look, I'm not
or
saying
3 Heisman Trophy winners, and I'm trying to think. Oh, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Three Heisman Trophy winners, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Dan Lanning doesn't have that on his resume.
Yeah. I think Dan Lanning doesn't have Heisman's on his resume, but Dan Lanning certainly has consistent, performance on his resume in a better way than Lincoln does. I think that Lincoln's
recently, because Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma is a better coach than Dan Lanning at Oregon. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Lincoln Riley at USC has left a lot to be desired. I would agree with that. Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma was a different
I think that you're just not a Dan Lanning guy, and you want to make it out like Lincoln's got anything on Dan, and in my opinion, he's got nothing on Dan. I think that Lincoln
so what
he
did at Oklahoma is just nah.
What did he do? Outside of the Heisman's, what did he do?
Outside of 3 Heisman Trophy winners, the guy was. Lincoln Riley was 37-7 in conference at Oklahoma, 55-10 at Oklahoma. That's an average of 2 losses a year.
Okay.
How is that by any measure not elite?
Pull up Dan Lanning's record at Oregon.
Dan Lanning's record at Oregon is what, again, 5th year, 26 and let's see. Dan Lanning in total is 48-8 at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And his best finish was 3rd in 2024. So what has he accomplished that Lincoln hasn't? I mean, they're remarkably Oklahoma Lincoln and Oregon Lanning are the same guy. The same guy. The exact same guy. Except Dan Lanning doesn't have Heisman Trophy winners. So I think Lincoln Riley was a bad MFer at Oklahoma. Again, didn't win the biggest games. Okay, great. Totally agree. But neither is Dan Lanning. And if we're comparing them today, you're probably taking Dan Lanning if you're hiring.
Yeah,
but
Dan
it's not
won
like
the conference in 24. Dan won the Big Ten in 24.
Okay, what does that matter? Lincoln Riley won the Big 12 4 times.
Right, but we agree that certainly when Lincoln was at Oklahoma, it was Oklahoma and Texas, and basically everybody else in the Big 12. We've talked about that on the show multiple times. So
I think when I look at the 2018,
did Lincoln Riley go to the CFP at Oklahoma?
Oh yeah, multiple times, and it was disappointing. That's the biggest knock on Lincoln Riley, is that he did not get the job done in games. That was the biggest issue. Weren't they at one point?
So he went 3 years in a row.
Yeah. Under Baker, they were like the number 2 team in the CFP. And it was just disappointing. It was really disappointing. And that's the year, isn't that the 2018? That incredible game with Georgia. Yeah, that 54-48. They lost. Hugely disappointing. Hugely disappointing. So, but again, I think Dan Lanning and Lincoln Riley are the same guy. I don't think there's any question. Now you put Lincoln Riley at USC, hugely disappointing. But what did he do at USC? He brought Caleb Williams and he won a Heisman Trophy. He's got to win more than Heisman trophies at USC. USC's already been there. USC wants national championships. So we'll see. I think it's this year or bust for Lincoln at USC. But I think Lincoln Riley and Dan Lanning are the exact same guy. There isn't. I don't think there's a discernible difference between the two. I really don't. I'm not being a red ass. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I think Dan Lanning's a huge disappointment. That's my belief. Last year.
That's your opinion. Yeah.
How do you not do anything after the Penn State game? That was your crescendo. And I understand they won playoff games. Cool. Against lesser opponents.
Well, again, I always check you on the Texas Tech win. Everybody said Texas Tech was going to beat them, and they handled Texas Tech. They dominated Texas Tech. Wasn't even a game. So,
shut them out 23-0. Because I think Texas Tech didn't have a quarterback.
Oh, either way. Again, it's
you won the game.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
You won the game.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Let's make sure we say it correctly. You shut out the Big 12 champion.
Yes. But what happened against Indiana?
Right, the best team in the country. You lost to them and got dominated. Right, I understand.
You got run.
So let me get this right. Lincoln hasn't been to the CFP since 19.
Since Oklahoma.
And we want to say that these two are the same guy, even though Dan's going to the CFP regularly and consistently and has recently won his conference. The same conference, I might add, that Lincoln is in. And we're trying to say that these two are the same guy.
Yes, they are the same guy.
Yeah, I just disagree. I disagree.
Okay.
Completely.
As you're welcome to do. You're a Dan Lanning guy.
Right, because I think what we want to do is we want to say, oh, well, let's live in yesteryear with Lincoln. Look at everything he did at Oklahoma. Look at Caleb Williams and the Heisman at USC.
Well, I also think that Lincoln walked into a situation at USC where he had zero talent.
Agreed.
And he's had to completely rebuild that program. And in year one, it was a huge success. 2 and 3, not really. Last year, they were significantly better last year. He's got to win this year. He's got to contend. My opinion is he's got to contend for a Big Ten championship this year.
Yeah, which again, I think would be great for the Big Ten, for sure.
The schedule will not allow that. In my opinion, I think it is going to be really difficult. Because again, if we look at the schedule and the travel for Oregon and USC is ridiculous. Or USC on the road, Rutgers all the way across the country, Penn State all the way across the country, Wisco, all the way to the Midwest. Indiana, all the way. UCLA. Their home games are San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana, Oregon, Washington, Ohio State, and Maryland. Like it's an incredibly difficult schedule. And then you look at Oregon, road games, Oak State, USC, Illinois, Ohio State, Michigan State. Much easier road schedule. Home games, Boise State, Portland State, UCLA, Nebraska, Northwestern, Michigan, Washington. I would expect Oregon to contend for a Big Ten championship. I would expect another 13-2, 14-1 record out of Dan Lanning. I would expect that. With that schedule, I just think USC has such a more difficult hill to climb. With Ohio State and Indiana.
Agreed.
That's a much more difficult schedule. Oh, and Penn State and Wisconsin on the road. And you've got Oregon. Like their schedule is just, but so that's what football is.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. Since you hold Dan Lanning to such a heavy account for the Indiana performance in the CFP, what happens if Indiana blows out USC in the regular season, not the CFP, obviously?
Like they did Oregon last year?
Right. That's not the question I'm asking you, bro. What are you going to say about Lincoln Riley when they inevitably get blown out by Indiana?
I don't think it's inevitable. And that game is at Indiana, which I think, and we'll have to see how the schedule shakes out. We'll have to see what that looks like. But at that point, and I'd have to look at the by date, but I'm pretty sure that's late November. Look at the way their schedule stacks. This is USC's schedule. Week 0, San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana, at Rutgers, Oregon, September 26th, Washington, at Penn State, at Wisconsin, Ohio State, at Indiana. That's one of the most brutal stretches in the country. I would expect them to lose to Indiana. I think asking USC to go to Indiana in November, coming out of a stretch of Oregon, Washington, at Penn State, at Wisconsin, Ohio State, at Indiana, I would expect them to lose at Indiana. It's gnarly, bro. And as it should be, you're new to the conference. The hard part is, if I look at Oregon's schedule, I think Oregon's got a much easier schedule than USC does. It is Boise, at Oak State, Portland State, and then at USC. So they open with 3 cupcakes, Boise, Oak State, and Portland State, at USC, UCLA, Nebraska, at Illinois, Northwestern, at Ohio State, Michigan, at Michigan State, at Washington. Their schedule stack is so much better. So we'll see. The proof is in the pudding, right? I also believe that there's no excuse. You either won or you're lost. You either won or you're lost. And I think USC would be thrilled with a 10-win season. If I'm Oregon,
go as far as to say, do you expect them to be in the CFP?
I do not expect USC to be in the CFP. I expect Lincoln Riley to get fired after this season. I think it's going to be incredibly difficult with that schedule. Really, 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 really difficult. Really difficult. And I think Dan Lanning, I would assume, we'll see what he does. I would assume at least 14 games. Kenneth Maynor, I expect USC to be a playoff team this year. That schedule, that is so difficult. That is so difficult. When do they play Notre Dame? Oh, wait. Exactly. But I at least logically thinking understand why they didn't want Notre Dame in the end of the season. I mean, that USC schedule is brutal. Brutal. The travel is brutal, let alone the costs. The cost is the cost. You made a decision. Deal with it. The Big Ten, the thing I don't understand is the Big Ten does not help USC at all. at all. And I'm very interested to see when that changes, because it is wild to me. Like, you look at Michigan's schedule. Michigan's schedule is Western Michigan, Oklahoma, UTEP, Iowa. They don't leave home in the month of September. At Minnesota, Penn State, Indiana. At Rutgers, Michigan State. They're one tough road game. At Oregon. UCLA, and then they go to the rivalry game at Ohio State, which it doesn't matter where that game's played. It's a bloodbath. They have one tough road trip to Oregon. Michigan gets this easy ass schedule.
But again, this is that I generally speaking, not unique to USC, but just generally speaking, I don't feel sorry for the West Coast schools at all. I think that like USC specifically, you want to talk about USC specifically, you chose to go to the Big Ten.
Yes, you did.
You did it in the cover of darkness. I'm not, it's not an excuse. You're USC. You don't get to have it both ways. And I'd say the same thing about Oregon. I'd say the same thing about Washington and UCLA. You made that bed, bro. So it's time for you to,
look at Ohio State. Here's Ohio State's schedule. Ball State at Texas, Kent State, Illinois. At Iowa, Maryland, at Indiana, bye week at USC, Oregon, Northwestern, at Nebraska, Michigan.
Yep.
It's a much better schedule. And again, I'll remind you, hey, where is the bye week? Where is the bye week for USC? At least they're late in the season. Their schedule, again, San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana, at Rutgers, Oregon, Washington. A week later, you go from home against Washington, at Penn State, bye week, at Wisconsin, home for Ohio State, bye week, at Indiana. So at least the bye week is there between Ohio State and Indiana. But that's crazy to me. I think Lincoln Riley, because I don't know how they win 10 games.
I mean,
that's why you can't play Notre Dame.
Yeah, the schedule for USC, having all three of those guys on your schedule is not good for business, right? Like having Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon on your schedule, that's a lot to ask. I mean, I think that the travel piece is not what I really care about with West Coast scheduling. That's just what you have to deal with. It is what it is. We're talking about football here. You got all the money you could ever want and need. So just figure it out. But
yeah,
but I don't understand why you would make a schedule where you have Ohio State and Indiana inside of the same month. Like that's just not, that's not,
it's not good for business.
Yeah, that's just not. So again, the plus side is if you find a way, because I don't think anyone looks at that schedule and expects them to win all three of those games. But if you can make those one possession games, if you can make those games interesting and be competitive in those games, in a loss, I think we've seen with the CFP committee that they'll reward you for that. And they will look at your schedule and say, hey, like, that's tough.
Wins: San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana, Rutgers, Washington, at Wisconsin, Maryland, at UCLA. That's 8 wins. Now, can they find a way to beat Indiana, Ohio State?
I would say
Oregon?
You're not beating Ohio State. I would be really surprised by that just because of their defense. Indiana and Oregon are the two that I would be looking at. And I would say, okay, Oregon's obviously the most vulnerable because we don't know what they have with coordinators, and we don't know what that team's going to look like, right? Obviously Dante Moore's back, but you don't know what that looks like. So Oregon's obviously one, if you're USC, that you have to get to 9 wins. And then if it's me, I think everyone's just assuming that Indiana is going to be national championship good again, right? I'm not saying they're going to be ass, but I think we need to see. The question still remains, okay, can you do it every single year? just how good will this team be? And, you know, so again, if we find somewhere in the middle, yeah, Indiana's probably an 11-win team, 12-win team, right? They're definitely a CFP team. So, you know, you have to, I guess what it is you have to establish a certain level of quality early in the year if you're USC. Like, if USC's not beating, who did you say they play in the first 3 weeks? Like Maryland and like,
No,
you know,
the USC plays San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana.
Okay, if you don't beat those schools by 30 points, 25, 30 points apiece.
Oh, you will.
But my point is that you need to do that to establish yourself as like, hey, these guys have real scoring potential. They're a real threat. Because I just don't think that USC has that fear factor yet with the legitimate contenders for the Big Ten. And I would also contend, do they have Michigan on the schedule? I'm trying to remember. You know, obviously there's a lot of games.
USC? No.
USC, yeah. They you don't play Michigan. So that also is one where you're like, man, that would have been a gettable game if we could add Michigan this year. So, you know, again, I think that if you can be 10 wins, be double digits with that difficult of a schedule, you're probably a CFP team.
You 10 wins is an auto bid at that point. Because again, San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana, Rutgers, Washington, Maryland, UCLA 7. Indiana, probably not. Ohio State at the Coliseum, probably not. With Penn State, 8.
Yes.
Oregon at home,
tightly contested. Don't know. But look at, I mean, just to put this in perspective, this just came out about 5 hours ago. 2026, way too early CFP, top 25 out of ESPN. I mean, again, where's BYU? 1. 2, Tech at 3. No idea how you're making that assertion. But then for USC specifically, you're talking about, you know, Indiana at 2, Oregon at 8, somehow Ohio State's at 21. Not sure how that happened.
I don't see how they.
But you get my point.
Yeah. I don't know how. I have no idea. I don't think they win 10. They will not. It's almost impossible. Unless USC shocks the world. Maybe Indiana sucks. I don't know. I don't see any way that they get there. How do you win 10 games if you're Lincoln Riley and USC this year?
You develop talent and you play a higher level of football. That's how. You don't have the game where you don't tackle. You don't have the game where you're just, you know, you're just not playing good. Like I remember talking to you about it on the show last season. We specifically talked about, bro, what happened to USC? Like where'd the technique go? Where did like, it wasn't even play calling. It was just like the ability to tackle a dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't have that dynamic this year. This year it has to be like, that's what I was saying. Like those first couple of games, you got to come out and just roast people and set that standard for your team.
Gary Patterson's their defensive coordinator,
which would allude to a very good defense. I agree with that.
Yeah, completely. Danton Lynn went to Penn State.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Right. I mean, I don't see them winning. I think 9 games would be incredible.
My only question for Indiana is what Josh Hoover looks like. You know, what
yeah.
You know, what that looks like, and because obviously he's going to be throwing it all over the yard, but what's the development look like, you know, in one off season? That's, you know, because obviously, you know, he is I wouldn't say he's a carbon copy of Fernando Mendoza, but I think there's a chance he's a better thrower than Fernando was.
Oh, Josh Hoover? Yeah. I think Josh Hoover's a far more dynamic quarterback. The question is, can Indiana's defense be, I mean, like USC, you can't be, I think they were 11th or 12th in scoring defense 2 years in a row. That's not winning 9 games. That's not winning 7 games with this coming schedule, right? Like, I think that's going to be very difficult to do. But, man, I look at Indiana
And by the way, Jeremy, dude, don't tell that to BYU. BYU actually would need to play the same level of schedule. Then you can roll that out. BYU did not have the comp that USC is about to have. That's the problem. You lost to the same team twice, and the Big 12 is not respected talent-wise. So it's just not the same conversation.
Yeah, I think it is.
The
BYU,
disrespect of not being in the top 25, though, is crazy.
BYU doesn't get the benefit of the doubt ever. Ever. They until they break through, I think BYU has to do it bigger and better than everybody else. That's the problem. Right? And I'm curious. Indiana, man, they don't have Illinois. They don't have Iowa, Oregon, Penn State. They don't. That's incredible. Not playing Iowa, Oregon, and Penn State is a huge win for Indiana. Wow, that's crazy.
Okay, can I sidebar here? Just watching machinations on Twitter come out this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's come out that YouTube golf star Grant Horvat has accepted an invite to play in the Masters. Apparently. I don't know that I love this, dude.
How is Grant Horvat getting to the Masters?
Special invite, apparently.
What?
Nuclear Golf is saying that he's accepted a quote special invite to play in the Masters, reportedly. So
that would be brutal. That would be
like
that
I don't
can't
know.
be right. Look, I love Grant. I think Grant's a very interesting dude. But you can't tell me that Grant Horvat should be playing at the Masters. Based on what? Do you know how difficult it is to get an invite to play at the Masters? And Grant Horvat is getting an invitation to play at Augusta. Come on. You got to be better than that.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
People love to do the whole thing of, hey, well, if Amateur Bro started on the green, would they be able to make the cut at the Masters? You know, and I don't know. I'd be curious to see how that would go. You can't tell me he's even making the cut or competitive with those guys. There's no way.
That's just don't crazy.
He does not drive the ball long enough. He's a 280 guy, 290 guy in a world where everyone's 330. And I don't know. That's just, if that comes out to be true, because Nuclear Golf is reporting it, and they're pretty, I would say they're pretty reputable.
Legitimate, yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess I just don't love it, dude. And the other problem is that this looks like, hey, well, Tiger's not playing. Who are we backfilling with? And the bigger name is Grant Horvat. I don't know. I'd rather see an up and coming actual PGA, star.
That would be surprising.
Yeah,
that would be surprising.
Yeah,
if he got in. Like, the Masters is really special. I don't believe that Grant Horvat's playing at Augusta. I don't see this can't be. This has April Fool's bullshit written all over it.
I would guess.
I mean, you can't tell me, like, I'm just looking at the Twitter reaction and I don't believe that for a second. That doesn't math at all. That does not math at all. So we'll see. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Yeah. Like, there was a story going around that Notre Dame and Michigan today are back on, and that they have a contract for the mid 2030s. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't buy it. Anyway, all right. This is why, okay, and again, I'm happy to stand on my porch and tell you to get off my lawn.
Do it,
I
dude.
hate
Yeah.
April Fools.
Yeah, do it.
I hate stuff like this. I don't think it's funny. Am I just not sense of humor guy? I don't buy it for a second. I think it's April Fools all day long.
Probably is.
I think it's April Fools all day long. And I hate it.
But would you be okay? Let's say that Grant Horvat style guy, whether it's Grant or another guy, any creator, is there somebody you would want to see play in the Masters? Is there someone who's not a PGA professional, like a tour player that you'd want to see? Because I think that's something that people have pondered about for ages. I mean, every single year we get to Masters Week. And every podcast and their mom talks about, oh, well, hey, Monty, if, this guy started on the green, would he make the cut? Like, I feel like we all want that on some level.
My belief is the Masters is really special. I don't want to see YouTube golfers at the Masters. I don't want to see, I watch a lot of YouTube golf. I watch a lot of Grant Horvat, Bryson DeChambeau, the Bryan brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see those guys. I don't want to see the good crew at Augusta. It's a special, special place.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't even know who I would think. I don't think Tiger should be playing the Masters. It is a tournament for the best golfers in the world.
Yeah.
That is the one tournament where I'm and like the U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Open, the qualifying for the U.S. Open is such a special process. And it should remain that way. It should be hard. I just don't want, I just don't want it.
I agree completely.
Yeah. I'm probably being,
I'd rather see YouTube golfer guy at the Phoenix Open or a place that a tournament that, is not of consequence in terms of dudes trying to, because these last couple of weeks, these last 2 to 3 weeks leading up to the Masters, Ricky Fowler was unable to qualify through points to get into the Masters. And so he'll need a special exemption. I don't know if he got it or not. But when dudes are out here the last couple of weeks leading up to a major or an Augusta level tournament, I don't want YouTube golf guy out there diluting it. These guys this is what these guys do. This is their profession. This is how they make their money and their living. And I think that we need to respect that on a certain level. And I just hope that I think that there's a synergy that pro golf has yet to realize of hey, if we could bring on the best amateurs in the world, guys who are not pro golfers, but are really good at golf by amateur standards, put them in the field and let them compete at a more casual tournament. Again, Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Phoenix Open, that level of tournament, that could be a very cool spectacle to see. Hey, dude, you're one of the best amateurs in the world and you shot 85 at TPC Scottsdale, let's say, while everyone else on the tour is shooting 65. 20 shots better than you. That I think would be an interesting take. But I agree, the Masters or any of these tournaments that are super exclusive, have that prestige, the Wednesday at the Masters. I don't want to see, dude. I don't, and again, let me be the red ass too. I don't want to see Grant Horvat on a Wednesday at Augusta when these guys are out there with their kids and their wives playing the par 3. I don't want to see that, dude. I am there for great coverage and the moments and Tommy Fleetwood this week talking about the Blackstone partnership.
Yeah,
and
no creator classic BS at Augusta.
Come on, man. Come on.
I appreciate the grind. I just don't want it.
Yeah.
No, hell no. I've never played. I'm not good enough to play Augusta. Fuck, I'm not good enough to play most courses.
You know what, dude? What's really funny too is I find myself a lot of people oh, well, wouldn't you want to play Augusta? Or would I play one round at Augusta? Sure.
Oh, of course.
I would play one round there, but I don't pretend to say that I'm great at golf or anything like that. I actually really don't mind playing, more mid-tier courses or local munis where I can just be out there and there's not all this pressure around, oh, you're playing this amazing course. And like, I just want to be out there having a good time. And I think that, you know, it was really interesting. We were in LA over the weekend, as you guys know. We played Pelican Hill, we played Anaheim Hills. And it was really interesting while we were playing Pelican Hill, we were talking about like, wouldn't it make more sense for these courses that charge a lot of money to play them to make the greens a little bit easier? I'm not saying to make every putt like a gimme or something, but like just to make it so you could reasonably read the green and so that it didn't just roll off the side of the green if you overhit it just a little bit. Because the greens were just super hard at Pelican Hill this time we played it. Yeah. And that's what I think people don't understand about Augusta or other, like the U.S. Open, like the infamous Rory putt that he missed when Bryson beat him. You understand that in that moment and with that green, there's a reason he missed that putt, dude. That's not an easy putt, bro, at all, even a little bit.
Yeah. Good old boys club. But that's what the U.S. Open and the Masters should be. Yeah. Go play. If you want Grant Horvat to play a tournament, you like go have him play the Barracuda. Go have him play even the Waste Management, which I think is ridiculous. Go have him play those tournaments. You can't have him play the Masters. Agree, Jake. A tourney like the Waste Management Open in Scottsdale would be perfect for Grant. He turned down an invite to the Barracuda Tour last year, though. He did because they wouldn't let him film.
I mean, I think that, you know, Grant at some point needs to do it, but I understand why he turned that down because they wouldn't let him film. And quite frankly, I think that, you know, Grant, you know, needs to continue to make a decision on which way you want to go there. But at some point, if you're going to do all these partnerships and videos with pro golfers, at some point you need to get out there and play with them. You know, at some point you gotta experience that. Yeah,
I don't disagree. All right, couple other comments. Obviously, we can keep talking a little bit of football here. Love that Texas isn't even talked about anymore. One of the elite programs in the country. Yeah. Another program with a lot of change in it. Pretty sure that is not ESPN's way too early top 25. There's no one that has Florida number 9 ahead of Texas and Ohio State as an example. I mean, this is what I'm pretty sure
this is what I saw as it was, but maybe it's fake. Hey, either way. I mean, you know, either way.
Yeah. Texas is elite. That to me, there's no way Texas is 23rd and Ohio State's 21. I would agree with that. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Do you expect Indiana to repeat?
No, I don't. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be a CFP team, but I would be surprised if they repeated. That would be impressive, to say the least.
Okay.
I think the question that we have to at some point figure out is if the SEC is going to actually show up in the CFP this year or not.
I would agree. How much do you guys hate Lane Kiffin? Why do people hate Lane Kiffin so much? Because I don't hate Lane Kiffin. People are losing their mind over this clip from yesterday.
Mentioned having to have a nice conversation with the defensive line toward the end of practice. I'm just curious over the last 3 sessions, just kind of what their response has been, what you've noticed.
Yeah, I thought it was better. I thought their mindset was better. And again, that's what you're supposed to do. You're here to coach. So you're going to walk in and everything's going to be the way you want it to be. And so I'm not complaining about that. That's just part of the process. No different than it was. We had no fights today, and we had like 6 fights the other day, and I had to teach them that don't fight. So, you know, when you come in, you really can't expect and assume anything is the way that I approach it. You got to go back and teach everything from the beginning as if they don't know anything, no matter where you are, but especially because there's so many coming from different places. And I talk to our coaches about that a lot. You know, they want to say, well, assume they're supposed to know how to do this. Well, don't assume that. You know, go back to the beginning of everything.
Why is that at all controversial that they were having fights at spring practice?
Because people view Lane Kiffin as a snake and as a used car salesman and as a guy that schemes his way. Well, just because I think people don't like obviously the most recent one is Ole Miss, right? Like people don't like that he left Ole Miss, that, you know, like when he did and like, you know, how it all went down and the tarmac interview with Marty and like just these, I don't view Lane as a horrible guy. I think that Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin would do really well for himself by winning something this year. Let's just be real, right? Like if you could go and get to the national championship this year, that would be really beneficial to your career, given how much money you're being paid and given the expectations of that lovely university. But I just think that people don't like him because that's the reputation he has for himself. Whether it's founded in fact or not, I don't know, but that's certainly his reputation.
Yeah, I am a huge Lane Kiffin guy. I'm on the Lane train. I'm not quite the Lanning slammer that you are for Lane Kiffin.
You're a Lincoln guy now. You're a Lincoln slammer. We know that about you. You're a Lincoln slammer.
I hate USC, so no, I'm not a Lincoln Riley slammer.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a Marcus slammer, although I could be if they win a national championship this year. I will start. I'll start stretching the esophagus on a different level at that point. But I don't hate Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin's brilliant. I think he is one of the best coaches in college football.
Yeah,
he's top 5 easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a legitimate case to be made that they're competing for a national championship if he doesn't leave Ole Miss, for sure.
We're going back to the Raider job. I haven't been a fan of Lane since he BS'd his way into being the Raiders head coach. Dude just strikes me as a con man.
Oh, why are you being so negative? What's wrong with two holes? Why are you hating? I don't know, Brandon. Why are you hating, dude?
Buddy's spray tan game is strong in that clip.
Paul didn't go in the hoop.
You think this is a spray tan?
Mentioned having to have a nice conversation with the defensive line toward the end of practice. I'm just curious over the last 3 sessions.
I don't think that's a spray tan, dude. I think homeboy golfs
that's
and
a tan,
fishes
dude.
a lot.
Yeah, that's a tan.
And I am jelly. No doubt about it. Deep stuff. No, I'm going to leave that alone. Lane is just playing a character. Okay. Dan Lanning is a lawn turd. I like the way this one started. 2 years ago, Ohio State embarrassed them in the Rose Bowl. The score was 35-0 before the half.
Hey,
anything
BYU
you want to
fan.
say?
Hey, BYU fan.
Oh,
why are you commenting on teams that go to the CFP as a team that's never been to the CFP?
Here we go. Jake took that personally.
He made it personal calling Buddy a lawn turd. What do you want me to do?
Chick.
Do not attack Dan Lanning in Jake's presence. Jake wants to play tummy sticks with Dan Lanning.
It's really just that simple.
I mean, again, BYU fan, you don't know what the CFP is. Why are you commenting on guys that go to the CFP? Just saying.
After LSU, Lane's going to Utah Tech to make them to take them to the promised land. Remember when the WAC was a conference? Group hug. We could do that. I think Lane needs to get to and win in the college football playoff. Otherwise, he's just another Lincoln or Danimal. Wow.
Brother, hold on.
Whoa.
Whoa. Hold on a second now. Bro. You did not just say otherwise he's another Lincoln or Danimal type. All coach or all sizzle, no steak. Yeah, the only key difference here, brother, is that Lincoln hasn't won in the CFP since before the damn pandemic. You understand that, right? Like we're half a decade since bro has won in the CFP, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, man, Danimal and Lincoln are the same guy," and they're not, dude. They're not. They're not at all. It's not even close, dude. Okay. Dan's actually winning something in the modern day. Meanwhile, Lincoln's over here in Hollywood Hills telling us how great he is. And not winning anything, and then you guys want to make an excuse. Oh well, man, he doesn't have enough talent. Like, gosh,
Dan Lanning's a lawn turd.
He needed a better lawnmower for the field. Like, my
lawn turd.
Dude. You guys are all your guys' takes are ass on Dan Lanning, dude.
Lawn
like, this
turd.
is incredible, dude. Like, how do you guys?
Maybe your take on Dan Lanning's ass.
Yeah, the difference is at least dude's in the CFP, unlike BYU, unlike USC, unlike a bunch of other also-rans in the Big Ten. Like, you guys are sitting here saying that at some point we got to start talking about them. Okay, cool. When your team plays Indiana in the CFP, then you can join the conversation. Until that point, there is no comparison. There's just not. It's not how it works, dude. The
moment was too big for Texas Tech's first time ever in the playoffs, and the bye is killing teams that are receiving them.
Oh, so now there's an excuse for why Dan wins games. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't win with the bye. They didn't win with the bye.
So again, since you're a BYU fan talking about other people, what's your excuse for not being able to beat the same team in 2 straight games?
What did Oregon do to Texas Tech last year? Dan is superior than Lincoln, Sataki, and even Whittingham. Okay. I mean, listen, that could be. Amazingly enough, my missus calls me a lawn turd on a daily basis. My wife says I'm shaped like a lawn turd. I mean, if Lanning is a lawn turd, would that make the grass not being greener? I would agree.
Right? Fertilizer.
Where Oregon's building their, practice facility that Jake's
their
supposed to be
IPF.
photographing. Excuse me, their IPF. There's some brown spots under that green grass.
Yeah, dude. Right.
Wow.
Right.
We need to get a water filter out there in Oregon for your boy Marty. I'm not saying they are bad coaches, not great top tier guys.
Right, but you threw Dan and Lincoln in the same conversation, even though Lincoln hasn't won anything in 6 seasons, bro.
And
how long has it been?
Dan Lanning.
Yes, he has. He won the Big Ten. He won 2 CFP games. Like, what do you mean, dude? You can't just you can't. That's what I'm talking about. It's the convenience argument. Oh, well, Dan's the same guy as Lincoln. Well, Dan's won the Big Ten and he's got a couple CFP wins. Yeah, he didn't beat Indiana, but he does have wins. That doesn't matter. It was JMU and Texas Tech, and Texas Tech had the bye week. Right, but he still won the game, and they can only play who's in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Ken Maynor, who's been a member for 4 months.
Thank you, Ken.
Hey,
Kenny.
LSU are the college sports heels, Lane, Wade, and Mulkey. Oh, God, Mulkey.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Oh, speaking of tummy sticks, Mulkey.
I enjoyed watching her melt on the sideline after Duke made that game winner.
God. Yeah, no, I'm not. There are a few people I dislike looking at their face. Kim Mulkey is one of them. She's rough. But LSU doesn't seem to care about one's character when they hire you, do they?
Tampering 101.
Lane, Wade, Mulkey. They don't seem to be worried about hiring nice guys to be
That's
or
like
nice
a whole
gals.
level of tampering.
They don't really seem to concern themselves with that.
There's tampering, and then there's blatant tampering.
And then, how long until Wade picks up another FBI wiretap?
Hey, James, do you want to talk to Wade about those burner phones you got working? He needs a new system.
It's Chaplain White, please.
Yeah, Chaplain White. Sorry.
He's got his div or whatever. Hey,
player.
Speaking of turning heel.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Should we talk about smashing Kim K or save that for tomorrow?
We can save it. It's fine. We've had our fill.
Okay. You've had your fill of Dan Lanning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just,
mm-hmm.
God, I just hate April Fool's Day. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
There's so many of them going around Twitter now. It's just, am I a red ass over this, you guys? I'm already sick of this. Like ASU putting out, we're building a pool in the stadium. Shut up. Like, just shut up. Right? Hire a basketball coach first. They did, but and now he's sick. Did you guys hear about Randy Bennett? I hope he's all right. You know. Anyway, my point is all of the stupidness around April Fool's Day, I can't stand it.
It's tired, no doubt.
You know, I fell for the April Fools. What April Fools? Did Jake already got one on Grant Horvat? I would assume that's a April Fools.
Hopefully.
You know. What's the over-under on how many games Holly Rowe gets the pow-pow on her hands on national television?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Oh, man, dude. That's iconic, bro.
In any scenario, Jake, is the answer yes? In any scenario.
Dude, no. Hell no, dude. No.
In any scenario, Diego Pavia's mom.
No, absolutely not. Nope.
Oh, no.
Wow.
No, man, I can't do it. Nope.
I can't see it with Holly Rowe either.
Your third leg was just phenomenal.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I can't do it, dude. Nope.
You know.
Absolutely not.
You know, I think the early college football top 25 is an April Fool. I would agree with that.
Maybe so, dude.
Jake's 0 for 2 on April Fool's Day jokes today.
Well, there we go.
Okay, so I just got my monthly recap of how much I drove my BMW.
Okay, over under is like 400 miles.
Way under that. 287.
Nice.
But it says that is in the upper tier of X4M owners. 287 miles in a month, and I'm driving more than most other owners.
What are most other owners driving, does it say?
I don't know. I don't know. But there are most days where I do not drive my car. Like, I would love to understand. Oh, God, it tells you what your average speed is. 19 miles an hour is my average speed.
Google says the average X4M comp driver does 800 to 1,000 a month.
Oh, well, that's
in miles. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really drive. I don't drive very often.
Yeah, you can't tell me you drive. There are people on a regular basis driving less than you. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I really try to keep it low. But 24.3 miles per gallon on average past month. That's pretty good.
Yes, it is.
I did drive 454 miles in February, but I went to Vancouver as well. So,
yeah, I mean, that's great, dude.
I was researching my MDiv.
Right, right. Your MDiv, of course. Yes.
Lane Kiffin will beat Lanning's ass this year in the morning. Well, I choose violence to end the show.
Again,
we're so close to the end of the show.
Still waiting for Kalani to be in the CFP, dude. Still waiting.
Why go after Kalani? Is like
because
the nicest
he's a
guy.
BYU fan, bro. It doesn't matter if Kalani's a good dude. He is a great dude. But if you're going to come in here as a BYU fan and talk junk on Dan, you don't give me a choice.
Your guy, Dan.
Right.
You know, your guy. It's fine.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I think it is. I think it's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Big Ten plays out this year. I just think USC is going to win 8 games. Their schedule is just ball breaking.
Yeah,
like it is. It is just whatever. It's fine. It's just too much. So, you know,
yeah,
it's fine. Dude, the April Fool's Day stuff it's ridiculous. It is absolute. That some of the stadium stuff. Oak State James must be having an orgasm today. BYU fan breaking the news that Utah's going to the Big Ten. You know, like it's just so ridiculous to me. Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Grant Horvat to the Masters is now everywhere. You guys understand the Masters. Isn't the Masters like a week and a half away? Like, isn't it next weekend? I think it is.
Sure.
I think it starts next weekend. So
you should look. I don't know the dates.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's next weekend. All right, a couple more, and then we got to roll. Top 5 coaches in the Big Ten.
Why do this, dude? We ain't got time for that, bro. Come
on. Who's the best coach in the Big Ten? Ryan Day. Signetti's 2. Kyle Whittingham's 3. Dan Lanning's 4th. Dan Lanning or Kyle Whittingham, Jake?
You already know the answer. We've been over this. Dan.
You're taking Dan over Kyle. Okay.
Yes, dude. Yes, bro. It's not that hard to understand. Witt's case is weaker than Lincoln's case, bro.
Yeah. But he was at Utah, which I think matters. I think it absolutely matters. That's crazy that you're taking Dan over Kyle Whittingham. If I had to go to, boy, that's tough. I think that's where I would leave it at the top. I think everybody else is pretty much in the middle. PJ Fleck, who cares? Right? Like, PJ Fleck's not an elite coach. Kirk Ferentz doesn't win.
Matt Campbell.
I think that's a tough job. I think it's a rebuild. Matt Campbell or Matt Rule? Matt Campbell.
Yeah, Matt Campbell, even with the situation.
Yeah. Shiano. Where's Lincoln Riley in that? Where's Jed Fish in that? What about Luke Fickell? He's been a huge disappointment at Wisco.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't care where Utah ends up as long as the don't cancel the Holy War again. Wow. Buddy, you need to go. You need to go to church.
Yeah, you need to go have a Bobby Bagel, dude. Damn.
My guy is on one today. Like, he is on one today. All right. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Don't get fooled. Stay off of Twitter today. Please don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Settle down. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. No matter you're listening to the show, go get them at theadvocates.com 24/7, 365. Clear, risk-free advice. You never pay the advocates out of your pocket because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Dan Lanning.
Goodbye, Down Landing.